This has been FPP Radio News. Online at fppradio.com.
Florida officials announced today its plan to experiment with new 600-lever voting machines.
The machine operates through a very straightforward process that we think is going to give Floridians the peace of mind that their votes will be counted. The voter turns on the machine using these 30 levers at the top and then enters their names and social security numbers using the alphanumeric levers near the bottom here. Right about now, the voter's going to have to find the two levers on the machine that are exactly identical and pull them at the same time. Then they're going to have to...
The new 22-foot-tall steam-powered machines, which officials are hailing as, quote, the future of voting, each feature over 45 separate panels of levers, along with an intricate series of valves, knobs, cranks, and pumps, all designed to streamline the electoral process.
Now, some of this may seem confusing, but every voter will be given a comprehensive 2,200-page manual when they enter their precinct that will explain exactly what to do.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live. This is Free Talk Live, and you can bring up anything that you want. Our number here is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype as well. The Skype username is LRN.FM. So feel free to reach out to us there if you like. With you in the studio tonight, it's Ian,
Johnny Ray, and Mark.
We're going to actually go straight to your calls, but then coming up, Mark will be regaling us with the story of how it was that he helped a horse who had fallen into a pool today.
That's correct.
In New Hampshire, where it is about 20 degrees outside, I think, and that might be giving it a little bit more than it actually is. It's cold out.
Yeah, ice was involved.
Yeah, so you're going to give us that story, but first we got John on the line in Nevada. He's on Skype. Go ahead, John.
Hi, guys. I'm calling about some really big developments this week in the Bundy case.
Okay.
The Bundy standoff trial. What has come to light is a letter from the former chief investigator for the BLM in the Bundy standoff. And
that's Bureau of Land Management. And
Bureau of Land Management.
Yeah,
and that is the government arm which was responsible for the standoff with the Bundys. It was a standoff between the Bundys and the BLM.
Right. This was back in, what, 2014 or something?
That's correct.
Okay.
So this letter alleges serious misconduct on the part of the BLM and on the part of the prosecution. The guy who wrote this letter, Larry Wooten, a special agent for the BLM, who was in charge of the investigation, just before the trial, the first trial earlier this year, he reminded the prosecutor of a number of things he thought had not been divulged to the defense in discovery, and he was immediately taken off the case at the request of the prosecutor, and he was told that he could not discuss anything about the case except with his superior at the BLM.
Sounds like prosecutorial misconduct. All right.
Right. So this is a letter that has just come out. It's been leaked by someone, a letter that he wrote to the Department of Justice in which he lays out the misconduct, and it's pretty damning. And since some of the misconduct is directly against the prosecutor, who he says didn't release things like Dave Bundy's iPad, which apparently had exculpatory evidence on it from when Dave Bundy was, I think, from when Dave Bundy was attacked by the BLM, and they didn't release that to him, nor did they tell him there might be exculpatory evidence on it. There's quite a number of charges like this. Supposedly there was extreme bias in the office, where they had many degrading pictures of the Bundys up around the office, including pictures of Cliven and Ryan Bundy in compromising positions, but also with their faces
compromising
crossed out.
Positions. Oh, like they photoshopped it?
Yeah, they photoshopped it.
Wow.
Now this is the Now in this environment, many of these people in this office are going to be, and have been by now, witnesses in the trial. So they're soaking in an atmosphere of complete contempt for the Bundys.
Wow.
But they're coming forth as unbiased witnesses.
Mm-hmm.
Now it's also alleged that Daniel P. Love, who was the chief law enforcement officer for the BLM and completely running the standoff, it's being said that he had a kill list on his desk.
Whoa.
That sounds bad.
Yeah, he had a kill list on his desk, and he also bragged of causing other suspects in similar cases to commit suicide with the way his department went after them.
That is sick. Now, this is what the former bureaucrat who worked there is alleging.
This is what he is alleging. Now, in the meantime, Daniel P. Love has been drummed out of the BLM for total corruption, for lying, for intimidating witnesses. This has been kept out of the Bundy trial so far.
I was going to say, none of this is going to make it in front of the jury, right? Like, this is all amazing, outrageous information, but I suspect it's going to be kept secret from the jury.
Well, they've been kept from calling Daniel P. Love so far because the judge has been saying, well, his misconduct, we don't know of any misconduct he had that's related to this case. Well, this guy's giving tons of misconduct by Daniel P. Love that's totally related to this case. So that would seem to make it possible to bring Daniel P. Love in. Now, I think the trial can't continue at this point. You can't have a trial where you bring in a witness who's going to testify against the prosecutor.
Right.
And you can't, I don't think a judge can allow that. So I think the case will this week be thrown out.
Wow. That's an interesting prediction.
Now, this Bundy situation has had so many trials up to this point. Have these guys been found not guilty for some of these?
Yes.
In these situations, and this is a retrial that is now being likely thrown out?
Well, Ryan and Ammon Bundy were tried and exonerated in Oregon for the related events in the Malheur occupation. This is the first time they've been on trial for the Bundy standoff. These particular guys. There was another earlier trial or set of trials with other defendants in the Bundy standoff. But this is the main trial where they're going after the people who were most responsible for what happened at the Bundy Ranch. Oh, there's another thing released here. When I went to the first trial, the defendants were trying to testify that there were snipers pointing guns at them in the hill. The judge as much as testified to the jury that there were no snipers. She told them straight out there were no snipers. I couldn't believe some of the things I saw there, like a judge testifying to a jury. But Wooten in his letter says there were indeed snipers at the wash, at the standoff, but more than that, there were snipers covering the Bundy's house a week or two before the Bundy standoff.
Wow.
That there was all sorts of surveillance of the Bundy home that was never disclosed to the defendants. This is a nightmare, and the defense has a perfect right to call this guy. And now they have a perfect reason to call Daniel P. Love. So
fascinating.
I don't see any way this trial goes on. I think the judge is going to throw it out, and the sense is that she may throw it out with extreme prejudice.
Well, she's going to be in a situation here where she's lied to the jury, interestingly. So that is going to cause
but not
her
under oath.
Well, she's a judge. Anything like this is just all so.
It could just be considered an error for a judge.
Well, I think she would say she was just repeating what the prosecution had represented, which she had every reason to believe. I think as of now, the judge is, while she has totally been on the side of the prosecution, I don't think she's in any danger or her career's in any danger. But I think it would be if she goes forward with this trial. I think she could even get herself in trouble.
John, thanks for calling in with that update on the case. You've been really great at continuing to keep our listeners in the loop because I wouldn't otherwise see this stuff, so I appreciate it. Anything else you want to share?
Our foreign correspondent in the West.
No, I'm hoping to. I may go visit this week to see if my prediction comes true, and if it does, I'll certainly call you from there.
Where's the trial happening?
It's in Las Vegas.
Vegas. Okay, very good. Let us know.
Okay.
Thanks, John, from Nevada there on Skype. You can join us here as well. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE. Of course, going back to that Bundy Ranch standoff over the Bureau of Land Management and essentially a cattle grazing rights issue that had bubbled into an armed standoff back in 2014 for listeners that may not have recollected what that was.
Yeah, and I think it's very, very interesting that these trials have all been basically exonerations or at least hung juries, because the way the media showed that story, those people were guilty. But
not everybody buys what the media is
selling. A jury of your peers in a country where people are generally found guilty at trial have decided, no, that's not the case.
Plus, now speaking of the media, looks like Disney's going to be gobbling up the Fox Corporation. We'll tell you about that coming up. It's Free Talk Live, plus the horse falling in the pool.
Called it elephant skin. It was rough, wrinkly, like a Brillo pad.
His hair was falling out in clumps.
Petey stopped eating and all his hair fell out.
Our golden retriever, Sundance, he scratched incessantly. There was hair all over.
DINOVITE.com.
859-428-1000.
The omega-3 fatty acids.
Flaxseed, zinc, alfalfa. The digestive enzymes that are cooked out of regular dog food.
Dinovite is nutrition.
Within 2 weeks, the shedding slowed down to almost none. The scratching went away after a few days, and Sundance's coat was starting to get shiny and glossy.
It's a 180 turnaround. His skin has cleared up. He's not in pain.
If your dog has shedding, dry skin, excessive scratching, do the Dinovite.
859-428-1000.
859-428-1000. Dinovite for life.
DINOVITE.com.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
Dash is digital cash, a digital currency designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy, fees are low, and transactions are confirmed instantly. Pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime, for just pennies on the dollar. Dash is the first digital money that's governed by its users. Join Dash and help us build a better financial system for everyone. Find out more at dash.org. That's dash.org.
Why did you move to the Shire?
I moved here to the Shire because there's other people around who take liberty just as seriously as I do.
I moved to the Shire because I saw videos of people challenging authority and thought that I could get support myself. It called to me, like, do this right now.
I wanted to be around people like me who got it. And once I got here, I knew there was nowhere else that I wanted to be.
I've always wanted to change the world. So I moved to the Shire to join people who were actually working towards doing the same thing.
The people here are awesome, loving, and positive. It was for the adventure and for the feeling of something important is happening here. And I just wanted to come to sort of be part of that.
Visit ShireSociety.com to read and sign the Shire Society Declaration and learn the reasons why, if you love liberty, you should immigrate to the Shire. Plus, add yourself to the Shire map at ShireSociety.com. That's ShireSociety.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free, at apps.lrn.fm. Looking for a great real estate investment? Consider New Hampshire, which is ground zero for the Liberty Movement. Your first call should be to Mark Worden from Porcupine Real Estate. He's more than just a real estate agent. He's your New Hampshire concierge. Where are the best places to live? Do you want farm, city, the burbs, or forest? Do you want a duplex or multifamily building so that renters pay your mortgage? There are homes in all price ranges in New Hampshire, and Mark can help with financing too. Invest in liberty and property. Mark Worden can help.
PorcupineRealEstate.com. Help get LRN.FM into more ears. Visit promote.lrn.fm for a free bumper sticker, flyers, banners, graphics, and more. Promote.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. You are invited to join us here. Just dial on in toll free at 855-450. Free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. The Skype username is LRN.FM. And in the studio with you tonight, it's Ian,
Jonny Ray,
and Mark.
Also, if you want to get into Bitcoin, then you really ought to go check out Bitcoin.com. Great place to learn the basics about the world's first and most successful cryptocurrency. In fact, it is so successful, it is now choking on its own success because the network is full of transactions and the fees are dramatically sky high. But luckily, there's more than one Bitcoin now, and I believe they will inform you about that at Bitcoin.com. I really ought to go and refresh on to see how they've changed the site. I haven't been through kind of like their newbie introduction thing in quite a while, certainly since Bitcoin Cash was released to the world back in August. So I'm curious to see how they're kind of educating folks on what the differences between Bitcoin Core and Bitcoin Cash are. Bitcoin Core being the very expensive Bitcoin, the one that was pushing close to $20,000 per Bitcoin today.
That's really close.
Yeah. Wow. Like it was at 19,800 something, according to BitcoinAverage.com. And then there's Bitcoin Cash, which is a cheaper, like maybe about a tenth of the price, and their fees are much, much lower on Bitcoin Cash. So that you can learn more about Bitcoin over at Bitcoin.com. And if you want to get into mining either one of those two, then Bitcoin.com also has a mining pool that you can go and join over at pool.freetalklive.com.
I have a Bitcoin-related question.
Yes.
What is the best way to turn Bitcoin into dollars if you're living in a...
You mean Bitcoin Core, BTC?
Yes.
Okay. If you're living in a what?
Well, if you're living in Asheville, or a city of the approximate size, 70,000.
Now, are we talking about on the books? Easiest way would include all different options, right? Not just anonymous?
Yes, all different options.
Okay. So the easiest way, as much as I hate to say it, it's probably maybe Coinbase, although BitPay, I think, is making a strong play to be easier because BitPay... they have the BitPay card. They've got the BitPay debit card, which you can load with Bitcoin, but it's actually not. It doesn't hold Bitcoin. So what happens is you sign up for this debit card. I think you have to pay like $10 or $15 to actually get the card itself. I don't believe there's a monthly fee unless you don't use the card. So if there's no activity, then they hit you with like a $5 per month fee. But as long as you're using the card, you don't get hit with a fee, I believe. So BitPay's card will allow you to send Bitcoin, and then at the time that you send the Bitcoin to the card, it converts that right then into dollars and puts that on the card. Now, Coinbase also has the Shift card.
So you could take the card to an ATM?
I guess you can do that with debit cards, but I imagine there's a fee to go to an ATM, but perhaps. I don't think I've tested that aspect of the card. It is definitely a Visa logoed card, so you can take that card to any old place that accepts Visa, which is pretty much any old place, and spend your what are then dollars. So the BitPay card doesn't hold Bitcoin, it holds dollars. The difference between that one and Coinbase's card, which is called the Shift card, is that the Shift card actually holds your balance in Bitcoin, which is pretty awesome. So from that aspect, I'd say maybe Coinbase probably has the edge on BitPay as far as getting from Bitcoin Core, BTC.
Does it have to do a blockchain transaction when you use it?
I think it just comes straight out of your Coinbase account. So it's all like on their side chain or whatever, on their own system. So no, would be my guess. There is no blockchain transaction because you're just spending from US dollars. The only transaction is when you send Bitcoin to load the card with the dollars.
Okay.
And BitPay, as we mentioned on the air recently, they just announced that they're finally expanding operations to include other cryptocurrencies, and they're going to start with Bitcoin Cash. And the first place they're going to implement Bitcoin Cash is with the debit card. So coming up in either late this year or early 2018, they're going to make it so that you can load that debit card with either Bitcoin Core or Bitcoin Cash, which means that if you have Bitcoin Cash and you want to convert that into US dollars, you'll easily be able to do that for, I think, the first time ever. Because I don't know of any other debit card-based thing that allows the use of Bitcoin Cash. So that's going to be a first. And that means that, to me, is a really big deal because if you think about it right now, we've advocated things like Dash, for instance, on Free Talk Live, these alternatives to Bitcoin that are competing with Bitcoin. But one of the questions you always get from a newbie is, well, how do I turn this into cash? How do I turn this thing, this digital currency that obviously is valuable? I mean, they see the prices going up. They know there's something there. But how do I turn it into cash? And the answer previously has been, well, first you have to convert it into Bitcoin, unless you can find some local person who just wants to buy your Dash. First, you have to convert it into Bitcoin. Then you can send that to Coinbase or BitPay or the debit cards and all that. And in order to convert into Bitcoin, what does the person have to do? Pay a ridiculous fee.
That's true, right, the transfer fee.
They have to pay a Bitcoin transaction fee, which is going to be usually at least $15 these days in order to do that. So if you've got $20 worth of Dash and you want to turn that into Bitcoin so you can sell it and get cash out, you're screwed. But now when BitPay implements the Bitcoin Cash change, you won't have to convert into Bitcoin anymore. You can just take your Ether, Dash, Monero, whatever thing, one of these altcoins that you have, convert it into Bitcoin Cash, which would not have the ridiculous fee.
It's got tenth of a cent fees. Or
right.
%.
So, nothing fee, basically, near to zero. And then you can take the Bitcoin Cash and load it onto that debit card. So it's going to be an easier way for people to get out of cryptocurrency. Not that that's what we want people to do. Obviously, having more people stay in cryptocurrency is good, but sometimes people want to cash out and they want to get out and they want to, take profits or whatever.
Is that credit card from a U.S. bank?
It must be. I don't know for sure, but there's no penalty to U.S. purchases if that's what would be an indicator, right? Because if it was a foreign bank, you'd probably see foreign currency conversion fees in that case. If you were spending if it was a foreign issued card, but you're spending it in a different country, there's probably going to be some fees. And the BitPay card does not have those fees that I've seen in the United States. So there's no fee that they tack onto each sale. The fee happens at the time of the conversion. So they give you a certain rate of what the Bitcoin is worth at the time that you send it to the card. Mm-hmm. And that rate, I believe, takes a fee. There's a fee in there somewhere. I don't know if it's 1% or what it is, but that's where they build their fee in, as I understand it. So very exciting about what's happening to BitPay because it also means that probably their point-of-sale systems will get updated. All the websites that they do business with, like Newegg, for instance, and these other ones, they will automatically start accepting Bitcoin Cash. So if we see Coinbase do a full rollout on Bitcoin Cash next year, I mean, Bitcoin Core is going to have a tough time. It's already heating up for Bitcoin Core out there with competition with Bitcoin Cash because now they got blockchain.info, one of the world's largest Bitcoin wallet providers. It's been around forever. They just rolled out full Bitcoin Cash support. So now it's Bitcoin Core, Ether, and Bitcoin Cash on blockchain.info. Over at BitPay, just this weekend, they announced they're rolling out Bitcoin Cash early 2018 across their whole platform. And then Coinbase has said months ago that they're going to add Bitcoin Cash, but we don't know to what extent. Is it going to be a full implementation where you'll be able to cash out to a bank account? If so, that will be very useful.
If you or someone you care about loves outdoor adventure, then check out slingbow.com for some unique holiday gift ideas. That's slingbow.com, where we have some innovative new products for the archer, hunter, or bow fishing enthusiast in your family. Now through January, use the promo code HOLIDAY to get free shipping in the U.S. or Canada. And from all of us at Slingbow Industries, have a safe, joyous, and peaceful holiday season.
Want revenge on the common housefly? Well, after 10,000 years, someone has finally come up with a better way. The Bug Assault, a miniaturized shotgun, which utilizes ordinary table salt as ammunition. Non-toxic and no batteries required. So much fun, you'll forget you have a wife and kids. $39.95 and free economy shipping. Use discount code GCN and get an extra 10% off your purchase at bugassault.com. Makes the perfect stocking stuffer. Get your Bug Assault today.
So the protection of life, liberty, and property is what the Free State Project is all about. But it's an effort to move 20,000 people who understand.
It's about demonstrating to the entire country
that, yeah, we can have a free market, a truly free market.
Making it just a freer, great place to live.
It's the world's largest voluntarist libertarian community, and it's only getting bigger.
That's amazing, to be able to move to a place where other people passionately believe in being free and independent.
What the Free State Project is managing to do, though, is to put their money where their mouth is. It's physically getting up across the country and saying, let's go someplace and let's demonstrate the power of these ideas. There's a lot of kind of philosophy that surrounds liberty. There's a lot of thinking about it and talking about it. But here in New Hampshire, people are doing it.
101 Reasons Liberty Lives in New Hampshire, a documentary by Free State Project Early Movers. Watch it free at 101reasonsfilm.com. 101reasonsfilm.com. Are you tired of governments murdering people around the world? Stop using their money. There is an alternative. Bitcoin is a stateless, free market, non-political currency. Bitcoin cannot be inflated or controlled by any government. By using their money, you're helping the state. Stop doing it. You have an incredible alternative available now. Learn it, use it, spread it. Get started with Bitcoin at bitcoin.com. That's bitcoin.com. There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com.
Are you about to meet the media? If you're about to be interviewed, do their homework for them. Know this about the person who will interview you. He or she is busy, so expect minimal, if any, preparation. He or she doesn't know as much about your topic as you do. He or she isn't as concerned as you are about getting your message out, so you need to take responsibility. Provide a biography and fact sheet, photographs, or other materials that tell your story. Reporters won't be put off if you supply frequently asked questions. Remember, Public Speaking 101, at the end of the speech, what's the one thing you want them to remember? You can download the document I supply to reporters who interview me and squirm through a video that demonstrates how not to conduct your media interview at www.survivalspeech.com. I'm Holland Cook.
This is the Liberty Radio Network, broadcasting the latest liberty-oriented audio content 24 hours a day at LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live, the live Sunday edition of the program. You dial toll-free. Take control of the airwaves here, 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And Skype in at Skype username LRN.FM. We're going to go to your calls and thoughts about whatever you want to discuss. And we've been talking a little bit about cryptocurrency, and you should know about Dash. It is a better financial system for everyone. Dash is digital cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast, it can be private and easy, fees are low, and transactions are quick and can be confirmed instantly. You can pay anyone, anywhere in the world, anytime for pennies on the dollar. Dash is decentralized and run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Anyone can invest in Dash and earn rewards for helping run the Dash network. So join Dash and help create a better financial system for everyone. Take back control over your financial future today and find out more at Dash.org. There's a lot of momentum behind Dash right now. Go to Dash.org and find out why. As we go to your calls and thoughts, Brandon is in Phoenix, Arizona, watching us on YouTube at cam.freetalklive.com. Hello, Brandon. Brandon in Phoenix, going once. Do we have Brandon in Phoenix going twice? We'll put Brandon back on hold. Maybe there's some technical issues back or on his end, perhaps. Let's try, meanwhile, David in San Francisco. Do we have David there?
Oh, yeah.
Hey, David. Hello? You all right there?
Yeah, it's working just fine.
That's hilarious.
That's cute.
Hey, well, I heard yesterday, toward the end of the show, you got into energy, solar energy, and the economics of alternative energy.
Right.
And I was trying to call in, but it was just too busy, and the show ran out.
Yeah.
So I was. It sounded like you were kind of stuck on the idea of whether or not a city could mandate solar panels on building new homes. And
no, we didn't get stuck on that. We're against any kind of mandates. Of course, cities can mandate anything they want. They've got men with guns who will enforce their will on innocent, peaceful people. That's how cities work. So, of course, they can do that, but they shouldn't.
Yeah, that's why I say you're stuck on it, because if you, the earlier caller that was talking about, there's a town in Southern California out in the desert called Lancaster, and they've got a Republican mayor down there, and he's the one that is very into solar, and he was the one that was able to pass the legislation. And
what legislation is that?
That all new construction has to have some solar option.
Is this all of California or just this one town?
No. Just the the kickoff was that town out in the desert. And if you look at the laws of physics as it regards power plants, if you push electricity 10 miles, you're going to have some drop off.
Yep.
The copper in the wires slows down the electricity. The wires heat up, and then it becomes harder to push it through there. So you basically have to burn more and more and more electricity, or more and more energy, in order to create
transmit
the electricity.
Right.
Right. So if you go 50 miles, you're going to lose 50%. You're going to have to dig up twice as many mines full of coal just to be able to power everything. And currently in America, we are burning twice as much as we need to do because of the resistance in the wires. So when you start looking at a city like Lancaster sitting out in the desert, they get probably 350 days of sunlight a year. If they produce solar in their own town, it goes 20 feet. It might go 50 feet to get to the appliance, but it doesn't need to go half a mile.
Mm-hmm.
If they have solar panels on everybody's roof or in every
You don't have to
city
convince
block,
me, man. Decentralized power, I'm fully in favor of. I'm just not in favor of mandating it on people, forcing them to do something, threatening them if they don't do it.
Well, the next angle of it is that if you look at 1776 logic, the king was sucking all the money to London. There was never any working capital left in the 13 colonies because all the money was being sucked to the king.
Mm-hmm.
And when you look at everybody's power bill, every month is being sent to some corporation, and unless you own shares in that corporation, it's a loss to every town in the city or in the county or in the town or in the state, or in this case, all of America is being colonized by these power companies.
Are you saying that there's a trade deficit with the power company? Is that what the claim is?
Oh, absolutely.
Okay, well,
absolutely.
Let's look at this trade deficit concept. Can you tell me, besides the job that you have, with whom you don't have a trade deficit? Because my house has a trade deficit with Walmart, Target, the auto dealer, the grocery store. Like, there's trade deficits going on everywhere, and the money's just flowing out to, these organizations that have incorporated themselves. So corporations, what is different about paying for power to a corporation as opposed to paying for milk, butter, and cheese?
Well, in the case of milk, butter, and cheese, well, the biggest single answer is that if you were to decentralize milk, butter, and cheese, you could have a dairy down the street. You could have a dairy, or and local money will tend to stay in the county, or in the region, or in the state. But when you get into the deregulation of electricity happened in 1996.
We had a local power plant in the left, and it was a nuclear power plant. It was called Vermont Yankee, and the lefties protested it to the point that they finally shut it down. And Vermont Yankee basically built the town of Vernon, Vermont. It handed out money to the schools. It supported local charities. It did all kinds of things. But Intergy, who bought Vermont Yankee some years ago, basically stopped pumping money into southern Vermont as a result, because their power plant was gone. And I mean, they were gone, and it really sort of wiped out that town.
Did it really?
Yeah.
Well, yeah, but you're not talking about what happened at Vermont Yankee, and that was that they had safety hazards up in there that were so serious, and it was right after 9/11 when their biggest safety problems, and Bush, in order to support the nuclear industry, refused to allow the public to know of the safety hazards. They were punching out nuclear wastes not only into the rivers and streams, but they were also irradiating everybody around them and not telling the public. It was against the law to tell the public that they were getting poisoned. And so don't tell me that nuclear is some fine idea, and that just because they hand out 0.1% of their profits to the schools or cities, I mean, that's the sickest kind of attitude.
I know about 5 people that worked at Vermont Yankee, and I can tell you the guy that was in charge of the plant itself said that the newspaper on a regular basis would misreport the tritium numbers. He would literally send information to the newspaper, and the newspaper would misreport those numbers that he sent to them. And he was amazed. Like, he just couldn't believe that over and over again they would lie out their butts about the tritium amount in the water.
Thanks for the call tonight, David. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. So what you're saying is all the things that people think they know about this power plant may not be true?
That's the claim from the guy who is running the plant.
Because why would people who
this is the guy that's sort of like the non-college degree, non-tie wearing guy that was running the plant, essentially the yeoman, of it.
The Homer Simpson of the.
I don't know what I don't know enough about Homer Simpson to tell you what he did.
He pressed a button.
Yeah. Okay.
But he did wear collared shirts.
This guy would do everything from milling parts to making sure mixtures were correct and stuff like that.
You would think that if there were some kind of danger to this particular installation, that the people who worked there wouldn't want to work there, right? Like the people who know a thing or two about nuclear power, the ones who work at the plant, if they were concerned, would they really be going to work anymore?
I would think that they would be the first ones to be concerned about it. Yeah.
The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733, because most of them, their families live right there within whatever the nuclear fallout radius would be from the plant. There's more coming up here. It's Free Talk Live.
Happy, the rescue dog. He was missing hair, stinky, scabby, but I have a vet that I trust, and she recommended Dinovite.
Order a 90-day supply of Dinovite for your dog this week.
We'll send you a bottle of Super Mega Fish Oil free.
Packed with omega-3, DHA, and EPA fatty acids.
Super Mega is great for your dog's immune system, healthy skin, and soft, shiny fur.
Try Super Omega Fish Oil.
Free this week at Dinovite.com.
DINOVITE.com.
I've said it many times on air, and I'll say it here. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about, nhliberty.org.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
Free Talk Live.
I'm a supporter of law enforcement, and my boyfriend's a police officer.
What if there was a law passed that made cigarettes illegal? Would you also support your boyfriend going and raiding people's homes and businesses because they had some black market cigarettes?
Enforce laws if people are smoking cigarettes and they're not supposed to be?
Yeah.
Would he enforce them?
Yes.
Yes, he would.
Right, that's the problem.
It's
his job.
Can I go to a more extreme example then, Lindsay? What if it was like Nazi Germany in 1939 and Jews were illegal? Would your boyfriend go around and grab them and throw them into concentration camps because it was the law?
If it was his job, he would do it.
God.
Wow.
I'm not saying it's not a personal issue. If it's his job,
personal.
Doing something wrong is doing something wrong whether you've got the law on your side or not, ma'am.
Free Talk Live, 7 nights a week from 7 to 10 Eastern, live on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are 1. Share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love. But make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com.
In Survivor Max 2, School Bites, Max must scavenge through a wasteland swarming with the undead. Desperate to find the medicine he needs, he discovers a community of survivors at his former school. Has he finally found the safe haven he's been looking for, or will he discover that school bites? Look for Survivor Max on Facebook, read reviews on Amazon, and read Chapter 1 at survivormax.com.
You can sign up to receive the latest about the Liberty Radio Network via our email updates at updates.lrn.fm. That's updates.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and you can join us right here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Here tonight, you've got Ian,
Johnny Ray,
and Mark.
Don't forget, you can join us online. Just head over to freetalklive.com, and you can get signed up for our email list there. You want to get the latest on what's happening with Free Talk Live. You'll know about it first if you're on the email list. And you can get signed up via the little sign-up box there. It's toward the kind of the top middle portion of the website at freetalklive.com. So jump on that email list and you'll receive emails usually about once per week from us. So let's go back to your phone calls and thoughts. Live Sunday edition here. We go to Patrick in Norfolk, Virginia, listening to WNIS. Hello, Patrick.
Hey, how you guys doing? Happy holidays.
Hey, Patrick.
Aw.
Hey, are we actually on the air on WNIS tonight in Norfolk?
Yeah, 790 AM.
Right on.
And WNIS.
Yeah, you sound like you're having a good old time.
I always love Free Talk Live.
Right on, man.
I wanted to get some input on the fires in California. Do you know if they're got an arsonist in the area or something?
Arsonists. It could happen. I remember there was a story here in New Hampshire. There was a big old fire. And Mark, you're a fireman. We'll get into one of your fireman stories here in a moment. But Patrick, thanks for the question tonight. We definitely appreciate it. In New Hampshire, there was a fireman who had actually started a fire.
This happens on a relatively regular basis. Turns out that people who get into the career of fighting fires like fire,
really,
in some cases, and some of them like it enough that they're willing to commit arson.
Does that make them a psychopath or a sociopath or what? Like, because that's pretty messed up.
An arsonist.
Yeah.
I don't know what the answer is to that.
Because, I mean, the arsonist may not be doing it to try to hurt someone, right? They may just be doing it because they like fire, like you're saying. They like to look at it, or to play with it, or to put it out, or whatever their
I can't remember what the
is.
name of the organization is, Ian, but it's like the American League of Psychiatry or something like that. They have a specific rule for the psychiatrists that belong to this organization against diagnosing people with whom they have not personally met. So I would suggest that the people
I'm not a psychiatrist.
Part of that organization would probably recommend that you, a person who is A, not qualified to diagnose somebody, and B, not present, should shut the F up. That's what I'm guessing.
What did you say? What do you think I
Ian,
diagnosed
the
them with?
firefighters are definitely sociopathic, not psychopathic.
The janitor is now diagnosing. Please go right
Why
ahead.
not? He sounds like he knows what he's talking about.
He doesn't he?
No,
it's much more than you do.
In some cases, it could be if this person is what professionals would call a pyromaniac.
Right.
But starting fires and observing a huge conflagration or something that every man can appreciate.
Sure. People love fire.
Right.
I mean, it's fascinating. That's why you stare at the campfire, right?
And setting a fire recklessly, regardless of the danger to others, is sociopathic behavior.
Sociopathic, okay. Because a psychopath is somebody who has no empathy, correct? Sociopaths also have a tough time with empathy, though, don't they? Like, I guess, I don't know. I'm a little bit fuzzy on the difference between the two. The psychopath is likely to actually physically hurt somebody, perhaps more so than a sociopath.
Sounds right.
Would be.
I don't know.
If you want to clear it up for us, you can do that. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. Let's talk to Brandon. He is apparently back on the line, calling from Phoenix. Do we have you this time, Brandon?
Yes, sir. Hi there.
Hey, what's on your mind?
Well, I just wanted to talk about the Bitcoin topic. I recently just sold out right now just because of the fact that I feel that it's really unstable. There was that really big spike in the last week where it jumped up to 20 grand. And
not quite, but
that could be
it almost hit that today.
Air.
Sorry, go ahead.
Oh, it hit it again today?
It almost did.
I just personally sold out because what I think could happen, I think it's 50-50. I think it could crash the same amount that it jumped, or it could continue to rise. So I personally just sold out just because.
Well, when you say it could crash as much as it jumped, what do you consider it jumping?
Yeah, what's the jump?
It jumped super high, super quickly.
Sure.
And I just think that could be hot air right now.
Do you think it's?
I'm sorry. Right now is really risky to buy in.
For me,
it could be risky to sell out too because you could be missing out on a lot of profit.
I don't disagree with you. I just have questions. Okay, I bought my first Bitcoin. I acquired at 27 cents. I'm trying to determine when you said it spiked quickly. So for me, it spiked quickly over the last year. I recall in September of last year, 2016, it was at about $600, and now I'm looking at it at $18,165. So is your claim that you think that it could drop back down to $600, or you think it'll drop down to $6,000 or $16,000? I'm just trying to, you're saying it'll drop, and I just want to know how much you think it'll drop.
Well, I bought in when it was around 9,000, right?
Okay.
Well, when it was around 13,000, and then it spiked up almost half of its current value.
So it could drop more than $5,000 or $6,000 is what you're claiming.
Yeah, but I think it could still go the other way too, and it can still continue to rise.
Just a reminder, Bitcoin was at about 10,000 US dollars. It hit that point it was only November 28th. November 28th, it hit 10,000 US dollars, and today it almost hit 20,000 US dollars. So that's a pretty big spike, right?
So
Look,
All right.
2
yeah,
weeks.
Yeah, it definitely is.
There's a couple of different sides to this.
3 weeks.
And I will not go on the record as saying A, that Bitcoin is not in a bubble, nor will I go on the record as saying that B, Bitcoin is
an adoption curve.
Is not an adoption curve. I don't know the answer to that. I wouldn't propose to know.
Nobody knows.
I know the old saying is that when you're getting investment advice from your shoeshine boy, it's time to get out of the market. You're in a bubble. And Bitcoin is totally become ubiquitous. Like people know the word now. They don't know much about it, but they know the word. And does that mean that we're in a bubble? Or does it mean that now Bitcoin, because people know the word dollar too, and that thing has been on a steady decline since 1913.
One thing you could do is if you bought at 9,000 and it's now around 18,000, then you could sell half of what you have and lock in.
Then you're at
your original
net zero,
investment,
right?
and then you're at least going to have the amount of Bitcoin as profit.
Right. When I see these stories of people who are mortgaging their houses to get into Bitcoin,
didn't you do that?
Makes me very frightened. But I mortgaged my house to get more heavily in Bitcoin.
It's a risk.
Right.
That's a big risk.
I had felt this sort of sense of missing. I had taken 1,000 Bitcoins and sold them for $1,000 to show you and my wife that, hey, people, this is real money. Would you stop being so scared? And when Roger Ver wanted to advertise on our show with Bitcoin.
Right.
And
I was like, yeah, I don't know. 10%.
Right.
I'll take 10%.
Right, 1,000 Bitcoins for $1,000, and I felt like I was missing something because I took my Bitcoins to do that, and then there was an opportunity to get Bitcoins at $10, a little less than $10 is what they were at. We were going to do our first remote at a Bitcoin business, and I'm like, I'm going to have that guy buy me a bunch of Bitcoin. So we had a home equity line. I took out $10,000 on that home equity line and bought 1,000 Bitcoin with it, and
you paid it off.
It was great. Now, I can't say that I have all the Bitcoins that I've ever had, still left over by any stretch of the imagination. As a matter of fact, all my cryptocurrency has been given to the Shire Free Church. But, it was a good move at the time, I guess.
Yeah, but I think Johnny Ray's got the best plan here, Brandon, and I'm not a investment expert or anything like that, but it would make sense that if you're spooked and you just take out the amount that you put in, since you've made more than that basically on the increase of the value, you take out the amount you put in, then anything else you sell it for at that point in the future is complete profit for you. So I guess my question is, why sell out completely? Why not hold a piece like Johnny Ray's suggesting?
Well, personally, it's unpredictable right now. And I have my eyes on another cryptocurrency, actually, called Electronium. It's gaining a little bit of attention. It's in the development stage right now. I think it's about to be released pretty soon, within the next week. But there's a lot of attention on it, and there's a lot of predictions also saying that it could be the next Bitcoin. Well,
it's the first I've heard of it. I'll tell you that. Not that that means anything, but
yeah. Well, I kind of have my eyes on the Electronium.
So you're talking about staying in crypto. You're talking about you're staying in cryptocurrency. You're not exiting from Bitcoin into U.S. dollars. You're exiting from Bitcoin into another cryptocurrency.
Much, yeah.
Okay.
Because instead of saying
I think you're better off staying in cryptocurrency.
It's unpredictable.
Yeah, well, of course it's unpredictable, but that's also part of the reason why you want to keep holding on to some of it.
I got to say that right now I feel like Bitcoin is the standard bearer for cryptocurrency, and if Bitcoin takes a hit,
all
crypto takes a hit.
Yep.
That may not be the future, but I think it is the present.
Also, Bitcoin seems to tend to go up more. The others do go up when Bitcoin goes up, but Bitcoin seems to go up more generally than the rest of them.
It seems to seesaw up to me.
All right, Brandon, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate it. Good luck out there. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom, but, we never know what's going to happen tomorrow with all this stuff.
Guys, wouldn't your wife or girlfriend love it if you treated her to the very best this Christmas? Well, you can, and you don't even have to go out of your way. We're talking about the world's softest pajamas, available exclusively at pajamagram.com. That's pajamagram.com. Created by a team of dedicated pajama experts, the world's softest pajamas are lighter than a cloud, softer than a bunny, like cashmere, only better. She'll love the way the world's softest pajamas feel, and you'll love the way they look. More than a gift, they're a feeling, an invitation to relax a little longer. The world's softest pajamas are available only at pajamagram.com. Visit today and give her a gift that keeps on giving to both of you. Plus, you don't even have to wrap because every Pajamagram includes free gift packaging and Christmas delivery is guaranteed. So visit pajamagram.com or call 1-800-GIVE-PJs.
I love My Magic Mud. I drink a lot of coffee. I had stains on my teeth. Then I found My Magic Mud, and I was told it would remove stains. So I paid attention when I brushed the first time. My Magic Mud is black tooth powder, and the difference it made in my teeth in one application was noticeable. With 4, my teeth were as white as you normal folks out there. Please go to mymagicmud.com and buy a jar. There's 150 applications for $25. You can use Bitcoin, mymagicmud.com.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 2 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Sunday, December 17th, 2017. Silver is trading at $16.05 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,255 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 8.8 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $19,649. Antiwar.com reports the 30-year anniversary of the 1987 Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty, INF, has brought a lot of new attention based on some very old missile tests by the Russian Federation, which the U.S. has at times claims amounts to a violation of the pact. NATO is now offering comments as well, but a lot less definitive, simply expressing concerns that the missiles might in fact violate the INF. NATO also said it was an urgent concern if Russia violated the treaty, and the U.S. keeps complying with it. There's no risk of that, though, as while Russia denies that they violated the INF, there appears to be little question that the U.S. has been violating it for years with the deployment of missile defense systems into Eastern Europe. The future of the INF appears much less dependent on the specifics of actual or even theoretical violations than of growing U.S.-Russia tensions, as the U.S. appears eager to hype the missile test from years ago and may want to withdraw from the treaty as part of a tit-for-tat hostile diplomacy. Bitcoin Not Bombs is a launching pad for nonprofits and social entrepreneurs into the financial freedom of the Bitcoin economy. Bitcoin Not Bombs is fully committed to being the hub of the nonprofit sector of the Bitcoin economy, maximizing the potential cross-promotion of all our clients and commercial partners. To learn more, visit bitcoinnotbombs.com. UPI reports electric car company Tesla does not want its supercharging stations used for commercial purposes, including cabs and ride-hailing businesses that include Uber and Lyft. The new policy, released Friday, according to Bloomberg, also applies to cars used for commercial deliveries or government purposes worldwide. Instead, Tesla wants the high-speed battery chargers available for private use. Tesla wrote, "We are continually expanding our global network of supercharger stations to enable personal long-distance travel and to provide a charging solution for those without immediate access to home or workplace charging, thereby accelerating the widespread adoption of electric vehicles. When superchargers are used beyond their intended purposes, it negatively impacts the availability of supercharging services for others." Tesla said, "If commercial users don't comply, we may also take additional action to protect the availability of superchargers for their intended purpose, such as limiting or blocking your vehicle's ability to use supercharger stations." The auto company said commercial users should reach out to your local sales contact to explore vehicle and charging options that suit your needs. Tesla's supercharger stations, which can charge vehicles in 30 minutes for a range of 130 miles, are mainly along highways and have expanded to city locations. Tesla began offering supercharging stations 5 years ago. Model S and Model X owners receive 400 kilowatt hours of free supercharger credit, about 1,000 miles each year. After the credit, Tesla charges an average of $6 per 100 miles compared to about $13 for gasoline. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports a raging California wildfire on Saturday became the state's third largest on record, with more devastation possible from a resurgence of the harsh winds that have fueled the deadly blaze since the beginning of the month. The so-called Thomas Fire has destroyed more than 1,000 structures, including about 750 homes in Southern California's coastal communities since erupting on December 4th, according to the State Department of Forestry and Fire Protection. The cause of the blaze is not yet known. Authorities describe the current conditions, including returning winds and extremely low humidity, as critical fire weather. Coastal Santa Barbara and more sparsely populated inland areas were of special concern. Mandatory evacuations were in place in several Santa Barbara County communities, including Carpinteria and Montecito and parts of Ventura County. An evacuation order for the city of Ventura, which was hit hard the first days of the fire, was lifted on Saturday morning. The cost of fighting the blaze has already reached $104 million, with more than 8,000 firefighters working around the clock and helicopters and airplanes dropping retardant on the flames. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
Odds are, if you've looked outside recently, you've noticed that all dogs everywhere are running. Scientists can't explain why all over the world dogs of every breed are running nonstop. I'm joined now by animal behavior expert Dr. Charles Davenport. Charles, what can you tell us?
All we know for sure is that the dogs are running fast.
But we don't know why the dogs are running?
There are a few reasons that dogs normally run: because they're excited or scared, or they see something they want far away, or because they're happy. However, usually they don't run at the same time or in the same direction.
Do we have any idea where the dogs are running?
West. All the dogs are running west.
Do we expect the dogs to ever stop running?
We don't know. Animal behavior can evolve over time. Maybe running forever is just what the dogs do now.
Dr. Davenport, is there any chance that the running dogs are somehow related to last night's blue meteor shower, or the fact that horses are screaming?
Inconclusive.
Well, please keep us posted. Up next, where are all the children?
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. You can bring up whatever you want toll free here. 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype at Skype username LRN.FM. With you in the studio tonight, it is Ian,
Jonny Ray,
and Mark.
Of course, you can talk about anything you want. Still to come, Mark, you do have to tell us the story about the horse that you and I guess a crew of other firemen rescued from a pool today. Apparently it decided it wanted to go swimming on a 20-degree day in New Hampshire. You'll tell us about that on the way. And first we go to a different Mark. This one is calling us from Tampa, Florida, and watching on YouTube at cam.freetalklive.com. Hey, Mark, you're on Free Talk Live.
Hello. I want to bring up a topic that is quite popular, or you guys talk about it quite a lot on Free Talk Live, about schools, government schools. And I agree with you quite a bit that the schools suck and they're incompetent. But the part that I think you leave out a lot is you can't get a job. You can't go forward. You can't go to college. Now, I'm gonna save the college topic for a minute. But
hold on, you can't get a job. What? What about you can't get a job?
Without a high school diploma.
False. You can absolutely get a job without a high school diploma.
When was the last time you showed your high school diploma for anything?
Well, you got a good point on that, but our society requires any job you apply for pretty much says, do you have a high school diploma or GED equivalency?
I imagine that they do, but I guess that my thought process on that is that the only people who need a high school diploma are people that are only marginally qualified to have one. So in 10th grade at 16 years old, and I think that's the age that you can take the GED. Look, this is not legal advice. If I would have taken the GED, dropped out of school,
and gone to work full time, I don't think my life would have been markedly different, except for the fact that I probably wouldn't have ended up in prison because of school.
Well, I agree and I disagree. I agree with you there. But school today, I'm in my mid-40s, and my kids had just graduated high school.
Yep.
And school today, I agree with you. It sucks. It's terrible. The whole system's a joke. But if you apply yourself, there are a lot of opportunities within that school.
Sure.
The school's never going to go away. I don't care. I agree with you. It sucks, and it's a horrible system. But I think we should encourage people to go to the school. No homeschooling. Go to the school. Get your degree. And
okay, so let me ask you this.
I disagree.
So I do disagree, and let me ask you this. The school, do you think that it disenfranchises? This is what my biggest complaint with school is that if I felt like I had to go out and learn something, I would probably want to go to school to get a degree to prove that I had learned that thing, sit in front of teachers, who, are experts in the subject or whatever, and learn that stuff. But don't you think that that's because I've been disenfranchised from when I'm going to clarify what that means? My son doesn't expect to get taught when he goes to school because he doesn't go to school. My son learns throughout the day because life is about learning. And he hasn't needed it so far, and frankly, neither have I. There's never been a certification or a qualification or any of those things that's managed to get me through into a job or out of a job or any of those things. And I've been reasonably successful in life. And I really kind of wonder, why do I think sometimes about going to get a master's degree in history from Dartmouth when I can learn everything I want to learn about the subjects I want to learn in history on the internet? In most cases, just watching YouTube videos.
I couldn't agree more. But see, the problem is society. Let's just pick a big company like Procter and Gamble or AT&T or something.
I worked for Clear Channel.
Do you have a high school diploma?
How could they prove that I did or didn't?
Did you lie on the job app?
Are you claiming that I don't have a high school diploma?
I don't know.
I told them if the job app asked me, if they gave me a job app, and if it asked me if I had a high school diploma, I said yes. I actually have two, because not only do I have a high school diploma, but I also lied to the prison officials about not having one so that I could then take the GED and get 90 days worth of gain time. I think it was 90 days. It might have been 60 days worth of gain time by taking my GED to quote-unquote show my improvement.
Yeah.
I got the highest rating on the GED that they ever had at that particular prison.
Yeah.
Right. But you're using one example.
I'm using the example of an ex-convict that never showed his high school diploma. It's a pretty good example.
Yeah, I got hired before graduating high school as a teenager.
Yeah. I'm not saying that you can't do it. I'm not saying government school is good. What I'm saying is people that go, there's a lot of advantages to government school. You're going to get taxed for it regardless. It's never going to go away. The government school is never going to go away. So why don't you go and take advantage of it?
But what's the advantage? Hold on. Just because it's not going to go away, that's not an advantage. Just because they're forcing you to pay for it, that's not an advantage. No. In order for it to have an advantage, you would have to compare it to some other form of learning. So what is the advantage of going to a government school as opposed to, say, homeschool or unschool, for instance? Or even private school?
Well, private school is a joke too, because to me it's just regulated by the government.
If I would have stayed in private school, I also would not have gone to prison. At this point, the only thing I can say about government school is I ended up in prison because of it.
Did you meet the wrong people?
Right. Okay. That's right. Do you want to send your middle-class kid to the best education that they can get with the best kids that they can find, or do you want to send them to the day prison where they learn how to knife fight and cuss?
Every homeschooled or unschooled child I've ever known seems to have all the advantages. So what is the advantage? Let's just keep to homeschooling and unschooling. What's the advantage of government school?
Well, I think because you're with a broader group of people. You're with more people.
That's actually not necessarily true. Hold on. You're with more people your age in a government school, But outside of a government school, homeschool or unschool, you can get involved in all kinds of different interest groups within a huge age range of people.
No, but you're really not going to find an institution full of 1,500 people that you can mill about in. And
I didn't say that. I said
But that's the advantage of government school. Government school prepares you for the misery that is corporate life. Like that's what he's claiming here.
But even
and
in a
that's
corporate
exactly what it was designed for.
But
it was designed to spit out obedient factory workers.
That's true.
But government school's biggest advantage, as he has pointed out, is in fact its biggest weakness. It is a god-awful place designed to make you a cubicle monkey. Please don't send your kids there.
Yeah, but like, for example, if you're homeschooled, I don't know enough about homeschool because I never did it. I never had my kids do it.
Sure.
But, I mean, they have a lot of different, they have state-of-the-art computers, and they have athletic teams and clubs. The public schools.
Right. Okay. To point out, you can send your kid to any of the clubs and any of the athletic stuff because you're forced to pay for it. So you can send your kid to those things. But
if you're a homeschooler,
this state-of-the-art computer thing, I mean, if I didn't have to pay $3,000 a year to send other people's stinking children to school, I could certainly buy all the state-of-the-art computers for my son that he could have. Anyway,
also,
he's
state-of-the-art only means at the moment that it was purchased. So usually when you're looking at government schools, yeah, sure, they'll buy some nice computers, whatever year they're refurbishing their computer supply, but then they might let them sit there for several years. So you may actually not have state-of-the-art computers because what was state-of-the-art in 2010 is not state-of-the-art in 2017.
Well, sure, I understand that. But see, my point is, you're going to pay for it. It's not going away. So I say, don't discourage people from going. It's never going to go away. I think you.
Yeah, that's the weakest argument I've ever heard, honestly.
Right, you have to pay for the roads, but don't send your children to play in them.
No, but you're still going to take.
I have to pay for the prisons, and I'm not recommending people go there either.
Take advantage of them. They have a bed and 3 meals.
These are day prisons, dude. I mean, that's what we're talking about here. They're day prisons for kids, and they really are. They're just as institutionalizing. Hey, thanks for the call. I do appreciate the discussion. If you're enjoying sending your kids there, then I hope they don't get arrested. I appreciate it. Toll-free number here tonight, 855-450, free like freedom. This is Free Talk Live.
Do you want to help build a better financial system for everyone? Join Dash. Dash is Digital Cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy. Fees are low and transactions are confirmed instantly. Dash is decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Dash is set up to succeed where other platforms have failed. Give it a try. Dash.org. Help people take control over their financial future today. Find out more at Dash.org.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. 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 I've said it many times on air, and I'll say it here. The New Hampshire Liberty Alliance is one of the most important organizations for freedom in the world. New Hampshire is ground zero for freedom, and the NHLA is the best organization at promoting effective liberty activism. This ad is sponsored by Free Talk Live, and I, Mark Edge, am a lifetime member because I believe in the NHLA. Please check them out at nhliberty.org. Not everyone can move right now, but you can support the cause. Donate top cryptocurrencies or old-fashioned U.S. dollars, nhliberty.org. Visit their website and see what they're all about, nhliberty.org.
Shop online and support Free Talk Live. Every purchase you make at shop.freetalklive.com helps spread a message of liberty. From shop.freetalklive.com, you can shop at places like Walmart, Newegg, Amazon UK, Amazon Canada, Omaha Steaks, HostGator, and more. Plus, you can get discounts on web hosting, legal documents, or pretty much anything using saveatpurse.com. Just bookmark the link and help Free Talk Live while shopping online. Thank you for shopping with shop.freetalklive.com.
Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa, And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm. Did you know we've taken our LRN.FM telephone listen line to a new level with the LRN.FM audio on demand line? Now you can call 712-770-8447 anytime and listen to LRN.FM's live feed. And you can listen to a bunch of our original shows on demand. Long distance fees may apply. Just dial 712-770-8447 and choose from the menu. 712-770-8447. Ross Ulbricht was convicted in early 2015 of running the infamous Silk Road underground market. The Silk Road was a gift to humanity and helped reduce the harms brought on by drug prohibition. For this good deed, Ross has been sentenced to life in prison with no possibility of parole. Now, an appeal is Ross's only chance, and he needs your support. Please visit freeross.org, where you can contribute via various methods, including Bitcoin. Visit freeross.org. That's freeross.org.
What's up next? Visit the Liberty Radio Network program guide to find out at shows.lrn.fm. That's shows.lrn.fm.
It's Free Talk Live. Dial toll-free here. The live Sunday edition continues. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. And you can Skype in at Skype username LRN.FM. With you tonight, it's Ian,
Johnny Ray,
and Mark.
Still to come, Mark's story about rescuing a horse from a pool in 20-degree weather here in beautiful New Hampshire today. You'll get to that story.
It didn't seem beautiful at the time.
Nope, certainly not. But let's go to your calls and thoughts first. Also, I do want to let you know that Anarchapulco is coming up in 2 months, February 15th through the 18th. We're going to have the pleasure of broadcasting from the event again this year. It has moved to a new location, the Princess Resort, which is a very beautiful hotel, as the last one was. I believe this is in the relation to. It's the sister hotel of the one that we went to last year, and I think this is the one that's on the beach in Acapulco. Of course, there's a lot of hotels on the beach, but this is the one with which will be very, very beautiful, and we're going to enjoy it. It's going to be a great, not only Liberty convention or anarchist convention, but also there will be plenty of cryptocurrency talk, with Cryptopulco being the final day of the event. It's, again, February 15th through the 18th. It's going to feature great speakers, including G. Edward Griffin, Jeffrey Tucker, Roger Veer, Larkin Rose, Jeff Berwick, Bruce Fenton, Brett Venat, Julia Taransky, Dana Martin, Juan Galt, Adam Kokesh, Kerry Wedler, Vit Yadlaika, and Sterling Lujan, and more, including live music like Jordan Page, Backwards, Rob Hustle, and others. You can go to Amazon. You can go to anarchapulco.com. The Amazonian ceremony is going to be held there. That's going to be a program that you can pay extra for. They're going to also have an extra health and wellness retreat, Change Media University, and other options that you can add into your ticket price. But for the basic ticket, you can use code FTL to save 10%, which you can go and do over at anarchapulco.com. Again, that's anarchapulco.com. They're making anarchy great again. And I highly recommend you get out to this thing. If you've never been, but if you've been before, you know it's a great event. If you've never been, this is the, I would say, premier fun convention, party, kind of networking, live music, all-in-one Liberty event. It really is great. And a great excuse to get out of a cold place during the middle of the wintertime. So again, February 15th through the 18th, anarchapulco.com. We will see you there as we go to Marie is on the line in New Jersey. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Marie.
Hi, how you doing?
Hey, you're listening to WPG.
This is a very serious issue, I feel, and this is why I'm calling you guys,
All right.
because you're smart.
Well, I don't know.
Maybe you can give you, no, seriously, I'm so frustrated you have no idea.
All right, what's going on?
Okay. I wanted to get a copy of my electric bill because I'm trying to get grants for my home that was damaged from the Sandy storm.
Okay, that's some time ago, yeah.
Home. It used to be, the owner used to be the boxing champion of the world in 1926, Peter Latzo. And I've been trying to save this house. I'm doing everything to save it because they want me to get rid of it. But anyway, getting back to this, I was in the hospital. I had some very serious issues. I had a bad accident, but I recovered and so forth. So
Wait, just before you go on, Marie, when you say they want you to get rid of it, who is that?
Well, it's the people in Moorgate where I live. Because the house needs work, and it's an eyesore for people.
It's the people, your neighbors want you to get rid of it, or the government?
Yeah, I believe that. No, the neighbors.
So they've said things to you?
No, it was all done in a different way. It was done like calling the authorities, code enforcement, complaining about things. First of all, I initially, when the storm happened, it's 5 years now. Excuse me just a minute.
Yeah, no problem.
I'm on the radio.
Yeah, shush.
Anyway, I'm sorry to interrupt you.
That's okay.
5 years ago, we had that Sandy storm, okay?
Yeah.
And the house took a beating. And I saved it. I got help from FEMA and so forth. And I'm still working on the house. It's not completely finished. And I was, like I said, I got laid up. I was in a bad accident.
Yeah.
But I'm okay now.
Good.
Simply put, I tried to get a copy of my electric bill. They would not give it to me. They said, this electric account is no longer yours. It belongs to someone else. I said, who? I said, I've lived here since 1970. Why does somebody else have my account? They wouldn't answer me. They said, well, we can't talk to you.
Hold on a moment here. So let me see if I've got this clear. You've lived in the house since 1970. At what point did the electric bill stop coming to you?
Oh, I guess about 6 months ago. I didn't know because I ignored it because I shut it off.
Hold on.
When I went in the hospital, I had the utility shut off.
So you went into the hospital 6 months ago. You had the utilities shut off. Then you got out.
Yeah, I had those shut off because I was going to be laid up. I didn't want the utilities on.
Yeah. So then when you got out of the hospital, how long after that was? How long were you in the hospital for?
Well, I got out of the hospital, and let's see, it would be probably a couple months after I got out.
Yeah.
And more than a couple months.
Then you went back home?
I said no, I couldn't live in the house. I went to check the situation at the house as far as the mail went.
Uh-huh.
The mail was actually sent to the post office.
Okay. Let me see if I can follow what you're saying here. So you get out of the hospital, you're going somewhere else because the house is in bad shape.
Yeah, I stayed in the rehab.
Are you living in the house now?
No, I can't live in it, no.
Okay.
I'm staying with my son in his apartment.
So is it your understanding that somebody else turned the power back on in the house that you own?
Yes.
Do you still own the house?
That's right. That's right. I fully owned it since 1970.
Are there squatters living in the house?
Nobody's living in the house. The house has been under repair. I had a carpenter put a new kitchen in. I had all kinds of
So the power's
construction work.
The power's on.
They put it on.
What?
I don't know who it is. They
But it's
won't
on.
tell me who did it.
Then why? What do you care? I mean, if somebody else wants to pay a power bill on the house, I mean, it's weird, but it doesn't make any sense. But somebody went ahead and turned the power on.
Sounds bad to me.
This is my concern is they have access to my home.
That is a legitimate concern.
Are they going into the home?
That's why I asked if they're squatters.
Do you have any evidence that people are going in the house?
Well, I don't have evidence. I don't go over there because it's still fairly damaged, and a lot of furniture was just moved in from pods.
Then how do you know that there's no squatters if you don't go there?
Well, my son goes there. My son is clearing out the house.
You need
fixing
Blink
things.
Home Security System. BlinkProtect.com/FTL.
All right. Hey, Marie, so here's what I would say
Did you ever hear of anything? No, seriously. Have you ever heard of anything like this before?
No.
No, I mean, because typically your squatters aren't going to turn on their own power, but that could be what's...
I saw an attorney for 2 hours, Andy Miller, because he couldn't figure it out either. He's a noted attorney in my area. He couldn't figure it out. He doesn't understand. I've never heard of anything like this, he said.
Yeah, that is bizarre. Yeah, if the electric company won't tell you, then, there's not really anything that you can do about that. I mean, you could try to challenge, I think you could probably try to challenge the electric company and say, hey, look, I want to take over this power bill. This is my house. But why you would want to do that if somebody else is paying the power bill on the place? I don't know. I mean, presumably the power bill's being paid.
There's an ulterior motive there. They're not paying out of kindness. There's an ulterior motive. Now, like, I called the state attorney general's office.
Yeah, we don't have time for the rest of the story, but you're welcome to call any other time and update us on what's going on, Marie. I wish you the best of luck. I mean, it just seems to me to be something that you... I mean, the concern to me would be, are there people living there? She says there aren't. Well, if you're worried that people are going in occasionally, but maybe they're going there to get high or shoot up or something like that, then maybe it'd be a good idea to go ahead and hire a locksmith and change out the locks on the door. I mean, I don't know what else you can do.
Yeah.
855-450-FREE like freedom. You can join us here. It's Free Talk Live.
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.
A commemorative President Trump dollar for only $5? Yes, the historic Trump dollar starts at only $5 at TrumpDollar.us. Choose from our unique 3-coin collection in gold, silver, and copper. The Vote Trump dollar, inaugural Trump dollar, and Make America Great Again Trump dollar. Available only at TrumpDollar.us. Minted in the USA, our Trump dollars commemorate President Trump's patriotic stand. Order your Trump dollar collection today in time for Christmas delivery at TrumpDollar.us. That's TrumpDollar.us.
I've been told no in many different ways.
I give you an order and you're going to obey it.
George, you can go this way.
You can't do that and you have to leave here.
You cannot bring signs into the rally.
Walk with me.
Well,
I'm comfortable here, actually. Whoa. Hey. Who do you think you are? Excuse me.
There is no video and audio allowed in this office.
No, I have work today.
You ain't gonna make it.
Wait a minute.
Whoa.
Hey! Oh my God! Unbelievable!
Why are you running from me?
Because you're scared me.
Property.
What am I being detained for?
You're being served.
What is this?
You're being served.
What is this?
Bureaucrats have a funny way of telling people no.
That's the sound of the men working on the chain.
Derek J's Victimless Crime Spree. Watch it for free and order the Director's Cut DVD at victimlesscrimespree.com. So you've signed the Shire Society Declaration and are planning your move to New Hampshire to be around more liberty-oriented people. Next, sign up for the Shire Society Forum at forum.shiresociety.com. There are a bunch of people there who are already in the Shire, and they want to meet you. If you're already in the Shire physically, you should also come by the forums. Remember, not everyone uses Facebook. New people are signing up for the Shire Society Forum every month, so drop in and say hello at forum.shiresociety.com. If you want to know the latest about Free Talk Live before we go on the air, all you need to decide is how you want it delivered. It's your choice. Visit news.freetalklive.com. You can get emailed announcements and participate in contests via our email updates list. Plus, we have a Twitter account that you can follow and a Facebook page where you can become a fan. So visit news.freetalklive.com to get news about Free Talk Live as soon as it's announced and the way you want it delivered at news.freetalklive.com. That's news.freetalklive.com.
Free Press Publications is an independent, alternative media and publishing company founded in June 2009 with the mission of ensuring a free press for the freedom movement and is committed to spreading the message of peace, freedom, love, and liberty. FPP also gives new authors an avenue for publishing freedom-oriented material. FPP brings you daily news and commentary on the website fpp.cc, as well as a daily 5-minute newscast, FPP Radio News, and weekly news, views, and commentary in the FPP Freedom Minute and Peace, Love, Liberty Radio at fppradio.com, and the monthly newspaper FPP News at news.fpp.cc. Find FPP online at fpp.cc. That's fpp.cc, as in Creative Commons.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live, and the toll-free number here is 855-450 free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Our Skype username is LRN.FM. With you in the studio here, you've got Ian,
Jonny Ray,
and Mark.
Don't forget, you can check us out over at freetalklive.com and enjoy the features we have there. Mark, you had just mentioned the Blink home security system as a way for that lady who is having problems at a house that she says she owns where somebody has turned the power on. That was not done in her name. She doesn't know if anybody's actually living there. She says she doesn't think that they are. But why would somebody else besides her turn the power on if they're not intending to be spending time in a place?
It's all very strange.
You had suggested she use the Blink home security system, which she could certainly do. It's very affordable. You go to blinkprotect.com/FTL. You'll get 3 Blink cams for what some of the other guys charge for one camera, one security camera, that is. But thing is, you will need to have internet access. So whether the squatters have turned on the internet is another question. And so you would need to have them connected somehow to the internet because they are an internet-based system. They're easy to set up. You can set these wireless cameras up. They're battery-operated. You use a Wi-Fi-enabled device like a tablet or a smartphone, and then you can just place the cameras wherever you want as long as they're within range of the hub, which is the one wire that you plug in. That's the power cable for the hub. It's super easy to get it set up. You decide when the cameras are monitoring, and if they spot some motion, they can then send you a clip. That clip appears on your smart device. And there was an interesting question recently that we have not yet, I think, gotten an answer to. I haven't taken the time to look into this as to whether or not the clips stay on your phone or if they reside on a server somewhere on the internet. And I'm interested to find out the answer to that question. But regardless, it's a very affordable home security system. You go to blinkprotect.com/FTL. And the other option, of course, would be a very expensive, by comparison, wired home security system, in which case the security footage does stay on your own hard drive in the DVR system. But if a marauder comes and walks away with that, then you've got nothing at that point. So there's actually a benefit to having it stored in the cloud. There's ups and downs to everything in life, so you have to decide what's important to you. Blinkprotect.com/FTL to get your Blink home security system. Let's go to Carl in Atlantic City, New Jersey, listening to WPG. Hey, Carl, you're on Free Talk Live.
Gentlemen, thanks for taking my call.
Yes, sir.
You got a topic. I have a story. Back in 1969, I was a senior in high school, and a student I went to high school with earlier, he left and got his GED. He was in second year of community college with a 4.0 average. But the only reason we knew about it because he was in trouble with a bartender too. The bartender heard the people that went to the bar that they were going on vacation. So this kid I knew with the bartender broke into the home. It became not a burglary, a home invasion. And they killed the 2 people in the house. How bright was he? I don't want to paint him with a broad brush. That would be sexist. I guess I would say a wide brush. But he was so intelligent that him and the other guy went to prison for a long time for killing them 2 people.
Jeez.
But he got his GED.
Well, all I can say is that government schools are very well represented in the prison system.
Yeah, I bet that's true. Carl, anything else?
I don't think you can blame the schools for him involved in murdering them 2 people, can you?
I don't know what I would blame, but it does seem like an interesting correlation, right? Like government schools, far more people who are in prison went to government schools than other, private schools.
But most people go to government schools. It's probably like 90% or something.
I think it's about 85%, but I would bet you that the representation in prison
is higher
than 85%. Like I don't think there's a
Did you know any homeschoolers while you were in prison?
I can't think of one.
Yeah, I bet you're right about that.
I can think of one. He's a councilman in Atlantic City, and I asked him how come he homeschools his children.
He was in prison?
He wouldn't answer me why. No.
No, my question was to Mark, who was in prison for almost 9 years in Florida, as to did he know anyone who was homeschooled that was in prison, and he said he did not. To which you said you knew of one, and you cited the councilman. So you weren't saying the councilman was in prison. You said you knew of some. You meant that he had a homeschooled child.
6 children. Him and his wife and are
Yeah, the homeschooled kids seem to be better behaving than non-homeschooled kids because they are more likely to be socialized with people who are different ages. They're more likely to spend time around adults, not just exclusively a group of, people that are their age, which of course means that they're always around in government school, always around very immature people, and they don't have the variety that they could get from a homeschooled kind of experience. Carl, thanks for the call tonight. I appreciate it. Okay. The toll-free number here is 855-450-FREE like freedom. David is in New Mexico on Skype. Go ahead, David.
Hey, yeah. You just said something that I've been saying on the radio here locally for years, that one of the big flaws with our our educational system is stratifying people by age. Mm-hmm. And I don't need to repeat what you just said because you just said it, but I just wanted to back you up on that one. I think that's a completely artificial environment that screws people up.
Yeah, I can tell you at my private school, I remember sort of this third grader befriended me, and I don't know whether I was in kindergarten or first grade or whatever, but I sort of went looking for him and, somehow ended up at the classroom. Maybe he was second grade. I don't know exactly what it was. But he was a couple of grades above me, and I ended up at the classroom at recess time sort of asking his teacher, where he was, and admittedly, it was quite naive to go asking his teacher where he was on the playground or whatever to play with. But she basically said, you shouldn't be playing with him.
Wow.
He's too old.
2 years older?
You should be playing with kids in your class.
My God, that's insane.
Right, yeah. And for instance, if you go back to the K through one-room schoolhouse, when all ages were in one room, there was less problems in society, I believe. There's other factors that go into that as well. And then I went to high school when I lived in a small town in Minnesota. We had K through 12 all in the same school, and so you'd be walking through the halls, and there'd be seniors and kindergartners, mixing to some degree. Not completely. The little kids were kept pretty much in the room all day, but you pass them in the halls and talk to them. It made for a lot healthier environment in my assessment. Not what I called about, but I thought I'd back you up on that since you said it just before I picked up or before you
go ahead,
took my call. Another thing, since you'd solicited people to give you feedback on sociopath versus psychopath.
Yeah, sure.
I won't give you the details. I just was doing some reading on. I had some previous experience reading on this, and then I just did some while I was waiting. In my case, I looked at WebMD, but go anywhere you want. WebMD just had a good comparison. What's the difference between sociopath?
All right, let's hear it.
Well, I don't want to recite it to you because I'll mess it up, but it comes a lot down to empathy and intent. For instance, both of them don't really feel empathy for other people, is what the claim is.
Right.
Whereas a psychopath differs from a sociopath primarily in that they don't feel empathy, but they know what they're doing to manipulate you, whereas a sociopath doesn't really feel empathy. They're not really trying to manipulate you. They're just trying to get what they want, whereas the sociopath is intentionally trying to manipulate you.
Wait, you said the psychopath is intentionally trying to manipulate, not the sociopath.
Exactly. Okay. The psychopath is intentionally trying to manipulate you, and the sociopath is just trying to get what they want without necessarily calculating.
It's a subtle distinction, but I appreciate you calling to share that. Thank you, David. The toll-free number here, if you want to join us, 855-450-FREE, like freedom.
I thought the term sociopath had been retired.
I've not heard that, no.
Google said that, I forgot what it said for sociopath, but it said psychopath was just somebody with a mental disorder or illness.
Well, the specific disorder is that they have no empathy and that they can take advantage of people.
You're going to have to show that to me in black and white.
I'll find something. Toll-free number here. Apparently, he said WebMD's got it. 855.
Doctors don't officially diagnose people as psychopaths or sociopaths.
Either one.
That's what it says.
Huh. What do they call them now?
I'm going to read the article.
There's more coming up
WebMD.
here in moments. You can join us here, 855-450-FREE. What is a person called who has no empathy for others? It's Free Talk Live.
From the first letter of Captain Mark. History is full of flowery documents claiming to limit the power of the crown, but these poetic social contracts have been impotent to prevent the predation. Limited government is a lie they use to keep us submissive. The crown cannot be trusted to abide by its founding charters, nor its treaties, nor even its own rules. The essence of the crown is centralized violence, and I've had enough. That's why I raised my black banner. I am no revolutionary. My aim is not to reset the cycle of violence, but to break it. My aim is an evolved society, invisible to the crown, not a new hierarchy, but decentralized networks with no central figure for the crown to target. If you want your servile life, keep it, but we will not submit to the crown's agenda. And when you are ready to stop being its beast of burden, ready for adventure and opportunity, join us at pirateswithoutborders.com.
This is Dan Pilla. Do you owe the IRS money you can't pay? Are tax debts crippling you? I've defended people from the IRS for over 30 years. I've helped thousands, and I can help you too. I wrote the book on IRS settlement, and I'm telling you, there's no such thing as a hopeless case. Call 800-34-NO-TAX to finally get free of IRS debt. With the IRS's new programs, there's never been a better time to solve your problem. Call 800-34-NO-TAX. That's 800-34-NO-TAX, or my website, danpilla.com.
Looking for that edge during those intimate moments? We see many ads for enhancement, but the side effects include death. At GCN Team, we should change the Healthy Body, Brain, and Heart Pack to the Healthy Libido Pack. The brain and heart are not the only organs that require a healthy vascular system. For proper blood flow at the right moment, go to GCNteam.com or call 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203. That's 877-878-4203.
On Free Talk Live, we're bringing people to the ideas of liberty every day. From wrestling superstars like Glenn Jacobs.
You guys really are having an impact, I believe. Like I said, a lot of where I am now is due to listening to Free Talk Live. You changed my mind on some very important issues years ago.
To random people tuning in on the radio.
I was kind of stuck in the left-right paradigm. I heard your show by chance on a Saturday night. From there, I went on, joined the Free State Project, and become an amplifier. So, I mean, that's really the reason why I amp is because I know that if it wasn't for you guys being on as many stations as you are, I never would have found the ideas of liberty.
Your amp will directly change more lives by getting Free Talk Live in front of people looking for talk radio online and on the air. When you amp Free Talk Live, you get perks like access to the AMP-only Facebook group and AMP podcast. Visit amp.freetalklive.com.
Here's a chance to do a little activism while you're cruising Facebook, Twitter, or Google+. Between the LOL cats, the recipes, the hot girls, and the inspirational sunrise memes, Free Talk Live's posts pass by your newsfeed. Like them, comment. It gives us more exposure. If you don't see our posts, click like at facebook.freetalklive.com and then hover over it to click Get Notifications. It's an easy way to spread the ideas of liberty a bit further. I know you're busy, but you can spare that 1/10 of a calorie it takes to click on something. Facebook.freetalklive.com.
The new 4th edition of Healing Our World, The Compassion of Libertarianism, will take your understanding of liberty to a deeper level and has over 1,300 updated references, new cartoons, and a foreword by Dr. Ron Paul. With discounts for multiple book purchases, the 4th edition of Healing Our World is a great gift for the liberals, pragmatists, environmentalists, and Christians in your life who think libertarianism is cold-hearted. Get yours today at healing.freetalklive.com and use promo code FTL for a $5 discount.
You're listening to the best liberty-oriented audio streamed around the clock, on the air, and online. This is the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
Free Talk Live. Dial on in toll-free to bring up whatever you want. Our number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You can join us online. Just head over to freetalklive.com and enjoy the features waiting for you. With you here tonight, it's Ian,
Johnny Ray,
and Mark.
Of course, you can bring up anything that you want. We're going to go back to your phone calls and thoughts, but we were talking a little further about this sociopath versus psychopath. Mark, you brought up the WebMD story. I don't know if you wanted to share more out of that because we just kind of scratched the surface. And there are some interesting distinctions here. You did point out that they say the DSM, which is the God book or whatever of the psychological
Diagnostic
business.
and Statistical Manual of Mental Health Disorders.
Yeah, apparently it does not actually include psychopath or sociopath.
Right. These are old terms that people like. They've got a lot of sort of baggage over time. They've got momentum, I guess, is probably the best way to describe them. And, that this is Free Talk Live is not a technical show. We go with the mo, and so consequently, the difference between a psychopath and a sociopath is whether they have a conscience to some extent, right? So a psychopath basically doesn't have a conscience. A sociopath has one, but it's weak. So a psychopath says if he lies to you so that he can steal your money, he won't feel any moral qualms, though he may pretend to. He may observe others and then act the way they do so as not to be found out. So he mimics a conscience,
right,
but doesn't necessarily have one. A sociopath typically has a conscience, but it's weak. He may know that taking your money is wrong, and he may feel some guilt or remorse, but that won't stop the behavior. Right. So they're not always violent. TV shows show psychopaths and sociopaths usually as villains who kill or torture innocent people. At worst, they're cold, calculating killers. Others, he says, are skilled at climbing their way up to the corporate ladder.
Just con men.
Yeah, or even have to get. Yeah. So basically, it doesn't matter whether they are strangling somebody or stealing their wallet or bilking widows out of their homes. They may still be these things. So cold-hearted psychopath versus a hot-headed sociopath. It's not always easy to spot a sociopath. They can be intelligent and charming and good at mimicking emotions. They may pretend to be interested in you, but in reality, they probably don't care. They're skilled actors whose sole mission is to manipulate people for personal gain. Sociopaths are less able to play along. They make it plain that they're not interested in anyone but themselves. They often blame others and have excuses for their behavior. Some experts see sociopaths as hot-headed because they act without thinking how others may be affected. Psychopaths are more cold-hearted and calculating. They carefully plot their moves and use aggression in a planned-out way to get what they want. And if they're after more money or status at the office, for example, they'll make a plan to take out any barriers that stand in the way, even if it's another person's job or reputation. So brain differences. Wow. Apparently, psychopaths actually have brain differences, and that a psychopath has the. Let's see. A psychopath may be watching a movie that has blood or violence in it, and their heart. The normal person's heart would beat faster, their breathing quickens, and their palms get sweaty. A psychopath has the opposite reaction. He gets calmer, and that quality helps psychopaths be fearless and engage in risky behavior. They don't fear the consequences of their actions. So apparently people who like to watch violent stuff and are fearless may have to look out for their own psychotic behavior.
Interesting stuff. That's from WebMD.
That's WebMD. Right. Yep.
So there you go. More about sociopaths versus psychopaths. We go to, interestingly, Ricky in Pennsylvania. You're on Free Talk Live. Hello, Ricky.
Thank you there, brother. And now I'm going to ask you this. Now, I didn't know tonight's topic. Now, I will say I can talk about libertarians like I may, or I happen to have two open cases, one of them involving a psychopath and one of them involving a sociopath. Now, it's your choice. What would you like me to talk about?
Ricky, it doesn't work that way. This is a talk show where you can call in about anything you want. So if you were calling about something that you want to discuss, then you may do that.
What about you, Brother Mark? What do you think?
I didn't hear the list.
I want to hear about the psychopath.
All right, Johnny Ray's decided. Go ahead.
That being said, now, first of all, to give you a little bit of background, first one, the sociopath. Now, this woman
I said I wanted to hear about the
psychopath.
Okay, the psychopath. Now, there's a reason why I'm saying that, Johnny Ray, because I'm differentiating between the psychopath and the sociopath, if I may.
You may.
Thank you. Now, this woman I spoke about in the past, I call the Rat, her street name. Now, she would be a sociopath. Now, Mark's description is very correct when it comes to the sociopath. Now, here's the difference between the sociopath and the psychopath. See, the sociopath actually has emotions. Now, they are limited, but they are there. Now, the difference when it comes to the psychopath, in this case, a female also. Now, she used to be a stripper. and that's fine. But see, here the thing is, one of the things you didn't cover yet is abuse. See, one commonality between the psychopath and the psychopath is abuse. Now, the psychopath, listen to me, the psychopath does not necessarily have to be abused. They just have to believe they're abused, mind you. Now, furthermore, see, the psychopath has...
Are you saying that a psychopath can be made into a psychopath from being abused?
I would think so at certainly young age, yeah.
Now, that being said, if I may, now, the key thing with the psychopath is their emotions are locked up. They still exist, but they're locked up in the subconscious, even further than that, through the trauma, or at least the trauma they believe they may have had. In the case of this girl, who's an open case, she has suffered serious traumas as a child up to a 12-year-old. By the time she was a 12-year-old, she was already on the way to being a psychopath. Now, you have the criminal element. She got the criminal element around 22. That is typical for a psychopath. Once you start with the criminal element, it's downhill. Now, more importantly, the psychopath cannot feel their own emotions, but yet they have the desire to experience those emotions. But that experience hurts. Okay, they are struggling for everything, whether it be stealing, whether it be drugs, whether it be, any kind of crime, stripping, the experience, you see, but that experience...
Stripping's a crime?
No, but it's for the experience, okay? They are also very overtly sexual, very experimental, reason why they want to experience emotion, but see, every time...
Now, where did you learn about psychopaths from?
Well, at one point I was going to be a psychologist, but also I have experience dealing with it with 2 open cases.
What do you mean an open case?
Remember, he's a deputy.
Yes, and this one's a serious case.
But I thought you were like some fake deputy that you just sort of called yourself a deputy. Are you hunting these people down?
You're way off. I say you're way off this time, son.
I didn't say that about Ricky from the Commonwealth. You did. Now, you described a sociopath. Donald J. Trump is a sociopath.
What's Hillary Clinton?
Hillary Clinton is neither. And she has been medically cleared and examined by
that's
everybody.
Right. He likes Hillary.
I know. That's why I asked.
More importantly.
I mean, pretty much every politician is a sociopath, though, right? I mean, come on. Why are you giving this lady a pass?
Wait a minute. There's also different levels of sociopath. Now, the rat I would call medium level. Now, when she's with her boyfriend, who's a cop killer, okay, she become a high-level sociopath, medium to high. I wouldn't say she's Trump status, but she's pretty damn close.
Why are you giving Hillary Clinton a pass? I mean, you don't get up as high in politics as she has without being a sociopath.
Wait a minute. I was going to enter into the political arena, and I speak the truth. I would not be of these people. Now, I call them as they are. I'm not going to just be like the rest of you people. If somebody is what they is, I will call them that. Good example, Woodrow Wilson. Woodrow Wilson was a Democrat.
What's going on here?
Thanks for the call tonight. Toll-free number 855-450-FREE, like freedom.
I'm pretty sure Warner Brothers is going to have something to say to you at some point here in the relatively near future.
Yeah, whatever. I don't know. Can they do that? Can they restrict words being
played? I think you're
from?
probably at fair use if you stay under 7 seconds.
Guys, I wanted to say regarding this psychopathy and so forth that I had always considered basically everything in our lives to be determined by our parents, genetically.
Really? So you cut out environment?
I don't cut it out. I would, but basically, practically speaking, genetics is the number one determiner of your behavior. And then
is this your opinion, or is this coming from some kind of study?
What I've heard about, for example, getting heart disease, and I basically considered your behavior, your day-to-day behavior, to be affected by the same things that would also cause you a chronic illness.
All right, let's come back and talk about this genetics versus environment.
Nature versus nurture comes on here on Free Talk Live.
All right, there's more on the way here. Our toll-free number, if you want to join us, in hour number 3, 855-450-FREE, like freedom. Plus, we got the horse story and economics in one lesson. We'll talk about savings, part 1 of 4. We're going to break up a chapter because it's honestly just too long for me to get done in a week. It's Free Talk Live.
Guys, wouldn't your wife or girlfriend love it if you treated her to the very best this Christmas? Well, you can, and you don't even have to go out of your way. We're talking about the world's softest pajamas, available exclusively at pajamagram.com. That's pajamagram.com. Created by a team of dedicated pajama experts, the world's softest pajamas are lighter than a cloud, softer than a bunny, like cashmere, only better. She'll love the way the world's softest pajamas feel, and you'll love the way they look. More than a gift, they're a feeling, an invitation to relax a little longer. The world's softest pajamas are available only at pajamagram.com. Visit today and give her a gift that keeps on giving, to both of you. Plus, you don't even have to wrap, because every Pajamagram includes free gift packaging, and Christmas delivery is guaranteed. So visit pajamagram.com or call 1-800-GIVE-PJs.
Cell 411 is a free app for Android and iOS that replaces government-controlled 911. Cell 411 allows you to preset a group of friends or private organizations to show up at any emergency. Cell 411 is a nightmare for the state because it proves their so-called services aren't needed. Cell 411 has had thousands of installs, and of course it's covered by the BIPCOT no government license. Cell 411 because your friends won't shoot you when you're in trouble. Without the government, who would build the emergency services? You and Cell 411. Get it today at getcell411.com.
So you've heard all 3 hours of the latest episode of Free Talk Live, and you're still hungry for liberty-oriented audio content? Did you know that we have another 24/7 audio stream at LRN.FM? The Liberty Radio Network airs the latest episodes of some of the best liberty-oriented podcasts on the internet around the clock. In addition to recorded content, you'll also hear live shows like Free Talk Live, originating from our Keene, New Hampshire studio. So listen anytime at LRN.FM. That's LRN.FM.
You're listening to the live edition of Free Talk Live. Hour number 3 is next after the news here on the Liberty Radio Network at LRN.FM.
From Keene in the Shire, the Liberty Media capital of the world, this is Daryl W. Perry, host of FPP Radio News for Sunday, December 17th, 2017. Silver is trading at $16.05 per ounce. Gold is valued at $1,255 per ounce. Bitcoin is trading at 8.8 cents, and the average price of Bitcoin is $19,649. Antiwar.com reports the 30-year anniversary of the 1987 Intermediate Range Nuclear Forces Treaty, INF, has brought a lot of new attention based on some very old missile tests by the Russian Federation, which the U.S. has at times claims amounts to a violation of the pact. NATO is now offering comments as well, but a lot less definitive, simply expressing concerns that the missiles might in fact violate the INF. NATO also said it was an urgent concern if Russia violated the treaty, and the U.S. keeps complying with it. There's no risk of that, though, as while Russia denies that they violated the INF, there appears to be little question that the U.S. has been violating it for years with the deployment of missile defense systems into Eastern Europe. The future of the INF appears much less dependent on the specifics of actual or even theoretical violations than of growing U.S.-Russia tensions, as the U.S. appears eager to hype the missile test from years ago and may want to withdraw from the treaty as part of a tit-for-tat hostile diplomacy. Bitcoin Not Bombs is a launching pad for nonprofits and social entrepreneurs into the financial freedom of the Bitcoin economy. Bitcoin Not Bombs is fully committed to being the hub of the nonprofit sector of the Bitcoin economy, maximizing the potential cross-promotion of all our clients and commercial partners. To learn more, visit bitcoinnotbombs.com. UPI reports electric car company Tesla does not want its supercharging stations used for commercial purposes, including cabs and ride-hailing businesses that include Uber and Lyft. The new policy, released Friday, according to Bloomberg, also applies to cars used for commercial deliveries or government purposes worldwide. Instead, Tesla wants the high-speed battery chargers available for private use. Tesla wrote, "We are continually expanding our global network of supercharger stations to enable personal long-distance travel and to provide a charging solution for those without immediate access to home or workplace charging, thereby accelerating the widespread adoption of electric vehicles. When superchargers are used beyond their intended purposes, it negatively impacts the availability of supercharging services for others." Tesla said, "If commercial users don't comply, we may also take additional action to protect the availability of superchargers for their intended purpose, such as limiting or blocking your vehicle's ability to use supercharger stations." The auto company said commercial users should reach out to your local sales contact to explore vehicle and charging options that suit your needs. Tesla's supercharger stations, which can charge vehicles in 30 minutes for a range of 130 miles, are mainly along highways and have expanded to city locations. Tesla began offering supercharging stations 5 years ago. Model S and Model X owners receive 400 kilowatt hours of free supercharger credit, about 1,000 miles each year. After the credit, Tesla charges an average of $6 per 100 miles compared to about $13 for gasoline. For over 40 years, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has been a trusted source for buying and selling precious metals like gold and silver. And as a Bitcoin-preferred business, Roberts & Roberts Brokerage has removed the minimum purchase amount for all orders paid in the digital currency. Call Roberts & Roberts Brokerage today for knowledgeable advice on buying and selling precious metals and a forward-thinking approach to new technologies. 800-874-9760 or visit online at rrbi.co. Reuters reports a raging California wildfire on Saturday became the state's third largest on record, with more devastation possible from a resurgence of the harsh winds that have fueled the deadly blaze since the beginning of the month. The so-called Thomas Fire has destroyed more than 1,000 structures, including about 750 homes in Southern California's coastal communities since erupting on December 4th, according to the State Department of Forestry and Fire Protection. The cause of the blaze is not yet known. Authorities describe the current conditions, including returning winds and extremely low humidity, as critical fire weather. Coastal Santa Barbara and more sparsely populated inland areas were of special concern. Mandatory evacuations were in place in several Santa Barbara County communities, including Carpinteria and Montecito and parts of Ventura County. An evacuation order for the city of Ventura, which was hit hard the first days of the fire, was lifted on Saturday morning. The cost of fighting the blaze has already reached $104 million, with more than 8,000 firefighters working around the clock and helicopters and airplanes dropping retardant on the flames. This has been FPP Radio News, online at fppradio.com.
During a curt Skype session earlier this afternoon, local Williamsburg resident 29-year-old Cormac Flanagan reminded his mother to, quote, try and be more careful after she forgot to pay his cell phone bill.
Mom, the phone company called today about my cell phone bill.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I completely forgot.
No, Mom, I'm not mad, but you have to stay on top of these things, you know.
I know,
You can't keep waiting until the last minute like this. Well, I don't want to have to keep reminding you every month. You know, I need my phone. I use it every day. I need my phone. I'm constantly using it.
I'm so bad. I'm really sorry. I'll get on it today.
All right, you know, just so you know, this really easy thing you can do. You know, there's this online auto pay. It just deducts in your bank account every month.
Yeah,
quite easy.
I know.
Okay.
I know.
It's fine. It's fine. Just don't let it become a pattern. You know, I know you can do better than this.
Okay. I promise. I'll get on it today. Okay.
This is the Onion News Network.
Free Talk Live.
This is Free Talk Live. Dial toll free. Bring up anything you want. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE, like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. In the studio tonight, it's Ian,
Jonny Ray,
and Mark.
To the phones, to your calls and thoughts still to come. Mark has a horse rescue story, a little unusual phone call for the fire department where you live today, Mark, and it involved a horse that had fallen somehow into an above-ground pool.
Yeah, we actually have moved into.
You don't have to tell the story right now. We've got calls, but that's coming up here in.
You think we'll ever get to it, Jonny Ray?
I have no idea.
No.
I'm sorry, you asked Jonny Ray, but I doubt he probably doesn't know either. But we will get to that before we get to the book, because I did promise the horse story before I promised the book, and we've got to get to the book too, which is Economics in One Lesson. We've been going through chapter by chapter and doing kind of a book club here on the air, and we haven't missed a week in the last several weeks, so. I don't want to miss it.
Today we have the parable of Alvin and Calvin or something?
Yeah, it's about savings. It's part 1 of 4 in one chapter about savings. So let's go to Scott, though. He's on in Charleston, South Carolina, listening to WTMA. Hello, Scott.
Oh, good evening, gentlemen.
Hey.
I missed the first hour, and I apologize. Late in the show last night, you had a call from Paul about solar energy.
Yeah.
And he was advocating why it should be subsidized at like 99 cents versus different market rates.
He was advocating that it should be subsidized, and he wants it subsidized more than it currently is in some places like Maine, which he was talking about how they're going to pass some sort of mandate subsidy thing where anybody who has solar panels would get 33 cents. But he said he thought it should be 99 cents per kilowatt hour. And we tried to explain to him that when you bring subsidies like that into a marketplace, you throw off all kinds of things economically, and this is a lot of what we've been learning with economics in one lesson, are some of the unseen consequences of meddling with the economy like that, like throwing off investment monies and R&D that would maybe otherwise go into different forms of power because the government's subsidizing one form over another and effectively picking a winner when that may actually not be the best option and the market should be allowed to decide. What were your comments?
Well, I thought your discussion was excellent. You hit it with your normal hard-hitting analysis. But I thought one big thing managed to go over your heads.
Okay.
And I know this from listening to the show. Apparently, the solar industry has purchased or bribed the Maine state legislature into doing this.
Okay.
Because it wouldn't happen any other way. So
that sounds right.
You guys, great discussion. I just wanted to.
It's an even better point. I wish it would have come to mind. Yeah.
Now, are you speculating on that, or do you have evidence that that's actually what happened?
Oh, no evidence. No evidence.
Okay.
It's pure speculation, but things
Well, I thought you
happen.
said from listening to the show that you heard that. Okay.
Yeah, no, it sounded speculative.
For 10 years of listening, I know how these things happen.
Well, I mean, it's not necessarily like that. Okay, so let me give you an example. I don't know what Maine's number of state reps are, but here in New Hampshire, there's quite a few of them. There's 400 state representatives, and so it would be very difficult to bribe, half of those.
I shouldn't use that word.
Yeah, he's using the term broadly. What he means is lobbied.
Contributions, influencing, glad-handing, backslapping. If you sign on for this, I'll sign on for that.
It's likely that something like that is occurring at some level, but at the same time, a lot of these legislatures, and I would be interested to see what Maine pays their legislators, if it's tremendous amount or if it's a low amount. Because I know here in New Hampshire, it's $100 a year to be a state legislator, and that's not exactly somebody that's really.
I know, but Paul approached you with this case. He used this newspeak term. Well, we're pioneers, and pioneers should benefit.
Right.
And when you get a one-sided sales pitch, I mean, you'll buy a timeshare. When you only get one side of the story, I mean, I could make a case that instead of using electric heat, I'll use my Franklin stove and oak firewood, and that will reduce the demand on the electric grid. Should I get a subsidy? These people would be aghast at that.
Indeed, yeah.
There are 151 members, 74 Democrats, 70 Republican, according to the Maine state government website. I don't know if it says here offhand what it is that they get paid.
If I recall correctly, Maine legislators are part-time and paid poorly, but that doesn't mean that they're not lobbied. And let's not forget that solar energy just sort of has this ambiance to it.
Sex appeal.
What's this?
Right. People like it.
Yeah.
Who could be against solar power, right?
Right.
I mean, so
Sunshine.
that's why I'm saying it may not be like that they're getting money from these agencies. It may simply be that they're making a persuasive argument in front of these panels, these committees that hear these things, because lobbying works both ways. I mean, you better believe the power companies are coming in there lobbying against this sort of thing. So, really, ultimately, a lot of the citizen legislatures that we have up here in New England, you're not talking to professional politicians in a lot of circumstances. Again, I'm just going off of what you said, Mark, that they've been poorly paid. I suspect that means it's fairly low compared to other state legislatures. These guys aren't making their bank roll off of being a state legislator in these places. And so a lot of the time it's just, can these people make a persuasive pitch to these average kind of folks that are in these political roles in the state houses? And a lot of the times, yes, they can, because again, You know, who wants to speak out against solar energy and or vote against something that would seemingly promote this ostensible good idea? It would take somebody like a Daryl W. Perry from libertylobby.info, which we have here in New Hampshire, or the New Hampshire Liberty Alliance, you know, to go into these hearings to speak against the solar committee folks and, you know, give reasons why, hey, you know, this may sound like a good thing. We're not against solar power, but here's why subsidies are a bad idea. And then you have to explain, because to be a state legislator, you don't have to know anything about economics. You don't have to know anything about anything except how to get elected.
Daryl would have a challenge getting on the calendar and being heard in a timely manner. These people build caucuses, one hand washes the other. Look, if you back me on this, I'll back you on that. And, you know, you get these type of arrangements.
Oh, wow. They actually make quite a bit. $13,000 a year. I mean, for up here. I'm used to $100.
The $13,000 a year is bad for a state legislature.
For other states, yeah, compared to other states.
New Hampshire is the worst as far as
it's the best. Goes. New Hampshire's the best because it's only $100 a year.
No, I'm not sure I agree with you. You consider that a benefit?
Yeah, it is, dude. What would you be against that for?
Do you want? I mean, there are people out there that could be legislators if for the fact that they could make some money to doing it, right?
Yeah, we don't want professional legislators.
Would you like to have Jonny Ray?
Johnny Ray is not interested in being a legislator.
I didn't ask you that. I asked you, would you like Jonny Ray to be a legislator?
No, I would not like Jonny Ray to do something he doesn't want to do.
Besides that, let's presume that Jonny Ray could be convinced at this moment to take a job for $30,000 a year to go part-time up to Concord, 1 hour away.
I think Jonny Ray would prefer to clean other people's toilets rather than be in the state legislature.
I think you should ask Mr. Ray as to what he would want to do.
Johnny, what would you do?
I would prefer to clean toilets, but if I didn't, I would. I mean,
would you go up and vote no or vote or not vote at all?
I'd be like Dr.
No.
Yeah. So there you go. Would you like to have Jonny Ray as your legislator?
Go ahead, Scott.
I wonder if I could make a couple suggestions for Mary, who had the electric in someone else's name.
Yeah.
It sounds like somebody might be trying to get her property declared abandoned.
Mm.
And I just wanted to recommend possibly to her that she establish some utilities in her name, whether it's internet or cable or the water company or a telephone company landline.
It's a good idea.
Good recommendation.
A few things delivered there. Spend a few nights there.
Yeah.
Get some pizzas delivered, something from Home Depot, get a newspaper subscription, and it sounded like she owns the property. Try to borrow $5,000 or $10,000 on it, and let the
good
advice. Do the research.
Scott, thank you for the call. I appreciate hearing from you. There's more coming up here. If you want to join us, our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733.
I got my Blink home security system delivered right to my door. I downloaded the app, and it walked me right through the easy setup. Even with my complicated router system, I was done in like 10 minutes. Now it notifies me whenever something moves in front of the wireless cameras, or I can just check it whenever I want right from my phone. And I got you a deal. Get 3 Blink cams for what the other guys charge you for 1, plus an extra 10% off. Visit blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL. blinkprotect.com/FTL.
Do you want to help build a better financial system for everyone? Join Dash. Dash is Digital Cash, a digital money platform designed to replace cash and help people manage their own wealth. It's fast and easy, fees are low, and transactions are confirmed instantly. Dash is decentralized, run by users who earn rewards for helping run the network and make governance decisions. Dash is set up to succeed where other platforms have failed. Give it a try at dash.org. Help people take control over their financial future today. Find out more at dash.org.
Earlier this year, after many years of conflict over the direction of Bitcoin, the creators of Bitcoin Cash did just what they were told to do. They forked off. Now there are 2 Bitcoins, the one that is run by the big bank patsies, and Bitcoin Cash, the one that stays true to the creator's vision. Bitcoin Cash has surprised many with its relevancy and staying power, and the price reflects it. If you believe that Bitcoin was meant to be a low-cost, easy-to-use, peer-to-peer currency that could bring economic freedom to the world, you need Bitcoin Cash. Get your Bitcoin Cash wallet right now at bitcoin.com.
Shop online and support Free Talk Live. Every purchase you make at shop.freetalklive.com helps spread a message of liberty. From shop.freetalklive.com, you can shop at places like Walmart, Newegg, Amazon UK, Amazon Canada, Omaha Steaks, HostGator, and more. Plus, you can get discounts on web hosting, legal documents, or pretty much anything using saveatpurse.com. Just bookmark the link and help Free Talk Live while shopping online. Thank you for shopping with shop.freetalklive.com.
The Free State Project has reached its goal of 20,000 liberty lovers who've pledged to move to New Hampshire and get active to achieve liberty in our lifetime. Perhaps you're trying to figure out what part of New Hampshire should be your destination. If so, consider Keene. You'll find more than 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com. Keene is famous for its historic, publicity-generating activism, as well as being the liberty media capital of the world. It's home to freekeene.com, New Hampshire's destination for liberty activism, news, and opinion. For years, we've been compiling over 150 reasons to move to Keene at move.freekeene.com, where you'll learn about some of what's happening here and what makes Keene a great place to live. If you love liberty, you'll probably enjoy anywhere you end up in the Shire. But do your due diligence first. Please visit move.freekeene.com for the full list of over 150 reasons to move to Keene. That's move.freekeene.com.
LRN.FM is proud to announce our official listening apps for Android and iOS devices. Now you can easily tune into our streams anywhere, anytime on your smartphone or tablet. Just visit apps.lrn.fm or search for LRN.FM in the Android or Apple app stores. Please download, rate us 5 stars, then share the link on your social media, and let your friends and family know how you're listening to LRN.FM. Download it now, free, at apps.lrn.fm.
We've all heard about blockchain assets like Dogecoin, Ether, and Ripple. Bitcoin isn't the only player in the blockchain game any longer. And for those of us wondering how to get our hands on these digital assets, finally, there's a solution. Shapeshift.io allows you to buy and sell between your digital assets and Bitcoin instantly between your own digital wallets. I've used it with ease. Shapeshift.io. There's no account or email address needed. You send them the crypto you want to sell. They send back the crypto you want to buy. It's that easy. Shapeshift.io.
While our satellite channel is free to listen to, it's not free for us. You can help us cover our satellite costs with the chip-in on the right side of the page at lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You may join us right here. The toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype. You can Skype on in here at Skype username lrn.fm. And it is still not too late for you to probably get your orders in at various different places to get your Christmas holiday shopping taken care of, but you're probably going to have to pay extra for shipping. I would think sooner rather than later. If you want to get it done, you ought to. MyPillow.com is a great place to get a gift for somebody that you care about, because if you care about somebody, you want them to have better sleep. There are so many things that can come bad from not having good sleep. So you want them to have better sleep. This is an affordable way that could possibly be a life changer for somebody. And if it really isn't that great for them, they can send it back, get the purchase price back. There's actually a 60-day money-back guarantee on the MyPillow. It is a pillow that is designed to take shape of basically your head and neck and hold your head in the proper position, no matter which way you lay, on your side, on your back, etc. It works well on all of those, and I'm a big fan of MyPillow. I've never had one before a couple of years ago, and I've been using it every single night, even taking it with me to hotels. Lost one of them at a hotel because I forgot about it recently. But
I can't tell me how many times have we had to just turn around and go get your MyPillow?
That's happened once.
Just once?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's happened once. In this case, I went too far before I remembered it, and I was just like, well, I've got more of them at home, more than one. MyPillow.com. Use code FTL. You get half off. And so you can do more than one. If you want to buy more than one, get one for your friends. Get one for your pet. You can do that too. I think the percentage discount goes down to 30% if you're using the code on the pet pillow. But again, you can go to mypillow.com with code FTL like Free Talk Live. As we go to your calls and your thoughts, Ed is in Pennsylvania. You're on Free Talk Live listening online. Go ahead, Ed.
Yeah, I'd like to talk about little free libraries. I just think it's a great opportunity to expose people to books you like.
Yeah, these are
versus
cool.
Like using Yeah, versus using like a government library. I've been actually myself. I put some of my own books out there. Also,
cool.
Fee.org. You can buy books in bulk for under $1. You can get Economics in One Lesson.
Wow.
It's a trade paperback, but it's not the best, but it's still readable.
Yeah, it doesn't matter if people can read it. If it's got words in it, then that's good. Can you define the Little Free Library for people that may be unfamiliar or have not seen these before?
Yeah, they have their own website, littlefreelibrary.org, and it looks sort of like a bird box on a post.
Right.
And people put books in, and then people take books out. It's no cost. It's just sort of like a neighborhood thing.
Yeah, I've seen one. There's actually one. There's two of them at least that I know of here in downtown Keene, New Hampshire. I'm not much of a reader, so I don't spend any time, looking at what's in there. But I think for people that are into books, this is a really great idea that will help get the ideas of, let's say, liberty, for instance, out there if you put the books in there. Smart stuff.
Yeah, I've been actually spending my own money buying books, but I can get them for under $1 from Fee and Constitutions. I don't know if you like those, but I've been putting those in from Cato. And
I was just by Cato.
Especially in the cities.
I went to Cato and I'm sorry, I just wanted to comment on that. I went to Cato in December and they gave me a whole big pile of books. So there you go.
Put them in those little free libraries.
Good,
I think that's great because if a book's just sitting on your bookshelf, it doesn't do anybody any good. I mean, it's nice to have it there, but if you're not loaning it out to somebody, then it's not doing any good just sitting there. If you've already read it, what are the odds you're going to come back and read it again anytime soon? I mean, I don't know. Maybe some voracious readers love to read their same books over and over again, but I don't do that. Even when I did read books more often, I never really did that. Get through one book and you read a different book. So if you take those books that are just sitting on your library shelf and take them down to one of these little free libraries, then somebody else is going to get their hands on it and they're going to read it. And then they might take it back to the little free library when they're done with it. Yeah. And then somebody else might be able to read it. And that's how the ideas get out.
I have a tip here too. When you use their map, if you go where it says city, state, province, region, if you just put in the state and not the city, you'll get more libraries shown on the map.
Good to know, Ed. Thank you for
a little trip.
Thank you, man, for sharing that. And I didn't know about the good deals over at Fee. $1 for a copy of Economics in One Lesson. I mean, we've been reading this book on the air, and yeah, you can get the PDF of it for free, but we're talking about an actual print version for $1. I mean, that's incredible.
Yeah, you've bought a lot of books to hand out, I know.
I like Dr. Mary Ruart's book, Healing Our World. That's one of the ones.
It's a great book. It's also long.
Yeah, that's true. Economics in One Lesson is pretty short. In fact, we're going to get to that coming up here in moments. Your calls and thoughts are welcome. Let's go to Stefan in Ohio. He's on Skype. Go ahead, Stefan.
How much did you say a legislator in New Hampshire made again?
$100 for a year. Plus, they get a small gas stipend depending on how far they have to drive.
And you're going to get a kick out of this. Do you know how much representatives in the Ohio House of Representatives make?
I'm going to guess $30,000.
$60,000 a year.
Oh, man. and how many of them are there?
I'm not sure the exact number, but I know my local one, Tim Ginter, confirmed that, yes, they make $60,000 as their base salary. And I think that creates a big problem. Because I don't think legislating should be something you do for a living or for profit. I don't believe in the politician. When it comes to their salary, I think they should be like RC 100. They make nothing. Mm-hmm. But I believe in the idea of statesmen, where you can go to work, you can be a teacher, a cashier, whatever. But when you have the free time, you go to the state house and you legislate. Because then there's not really a conflict of interest there. You're not doing this for a living. You're not doing whatever you can to get elected. Some people might look at the $60,000 a year salary here in Ohio and think, darn, I might as well not be, a cashier or something like that. I can just win the seat with a couple hundred votes in one of the least populated districts, and I can make more money than anybody else.
And then you can stay there forever because once you're the incumbent, you'll never get, elected away.
I don't know, but I'd be willing. Yes, Ohio does have term limits. That just means that they pop around to different positions as opposed to staying at the same one. I don't know, but I would be willing to guess that most of the 99 state reps that are in Ohio are probably unsuccessful attorneys who decided ambulance chasing was a little too much for them, so they went on to work at the state house. They're probably not cashiers. I don't suspect good, hardworking people really ever aspire to it.
By the way, one state representative in Ohio gets paid $20,000 more than the entire budget of pay for the 400 state representatives, because 400 times 100 is 40,000. Now, that doesn't include the gas stipend, but basically for the price tag of one legislator in Ohio, you get 400 of them in New Hampshire.
So, that I don't know why that's meaningful, Ian.
Because $100 a year is meaningful. It's a pittance for these people, and it goes to show that these are like true volunteer positions.
Right.
For these folks.
That means that our legislator, instead of being full of unsuccessful attorneys, is full of ideological geriatrics.
That's not even necessarily true. Yes, most of them are elderly or older, but not all of them. There are some 21-year-olds.
Not all of the legislators in Ohio are lawyers either.
Yeah,
how come the generalization's okay for Ohio, it's not okay for New Hampshire?
Well, there are people who are not all old in the state of New Hampshire. You can go in there and you can look at it. There's people in their 40s. There's people in their 20s. There's people in their 30s.
I know that, Ian.
Yeah.
Not all of them are. Most of them are.
Some of them are successful business people.
That's the problem with not paying.
It's not a problem to not pay these people, Mark. I can't believe you're arguing to pay more money to state legislators. Hang on, Stefan. If you got more, you can share with us here. You're welcome to. Our toll-free number is 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. You going to dig deep and volunteer to pay them some more?
Water is the single most important thing your body needs, so you want to be sure it's the best for you and your family. Since 2005, thousands have depended on Berkey purified water. The Berkey Guy provides the lowest priced filtration systems in every size. For incredibly delicious water now and in an emergency, get to GoBerkey.com or call 877-886-3653. 877-886-3653. GoBerkey.com.
Actual testimonials from real Numana customers.
I've tried all kinds of food storage, and Numana is by far the best.
I'm a single mom with 2 teenage boys and a full-time job. I don't always have time to cook a 4-course meal. That's where Numana has been such a blessing. I can spend less time in the kitchen and more time on what matters most, like helping with homework.
Find out for yourself. Order online at thepowermall.com. That's thepowermall.com. Numana is
food stores I love to eat. Yum!
Thepowermall.com.
This is Michael Dean from the Freedom Fiends. I've run websites since 1996 and have used over a dozen web hosts in that time. AgristHosting.com is the only one that hasn't broken my heart. Agrist Hosting's uptime and service is stellar, and their DDoS mitigation is the best I've seen. That's important because if you tell the truth in this world, you'll ruffle feathers. And some people will try dirty tricks to silence your voice. No matter what the haters hit us with, Agrist Hosting keeps our websites online. If you have a mission-critical commercial presence or a world-changing activism site, you cannot tolerate any skullduggery. So go with agristhosting.com. Have a WordPress or blog site, but you're not satisfied with performance or uptime? Or just want raw hosting? Want to pay with Bitcoin? Agrist Hosting specializes in high-performance hosting with personalized service. Go to agristhosting.com and click on the button that says Get Hosted. That's agristhosting.com.
When you hear the word lobbyist, you probably think about greedy corporations, but not all lobbyists are the same. Some are fighting for the freedoms you hold dear. Liberty Lobby LLC is doing just that in New Hampshire, working hard to represent you, not some special interest group. You can help by going to libertylobby.info, where your contribution will give us the tools we need to ensure that your voice is heard. Visit libertylobby.info today to find out more.
There are lots of ways to listen to Free Talk Live. Our podcast has been around since podcasts began, and now the FTL feed is loaded with content besides our full show archives. Did you know that we make it easy for you to customize your podcast subscriptions? We have different feeds, one that includes only our full shows, one with just the Daily Digest, and one with just the Edgington Post. You decide what you listen to. It's quick and easy to customize your feeds at feeds.freetalklive.com. That's feeds.freetalklive.com. Is spreading the message of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace around the globe worth $2 per month to you? As you may already know, in addition to our internet feed, LRN.FM broadcasts on free-to-air satellite across North and Central America, as well as Sub-Saharan Africa. And we've been available on satellite for free 24/7 since 2010. The LRN.FM free-to-air satellite signal is reaching some of the most oppressive regimes in the world, and there's no doubt our ideas are making an impact. You can learn more about the channel's impact by watching the 3-minute video at fund.lrn.fm. If you'd like to help free minds globally with our ideas of liberty, cryptocurrency, and peace, you can donate as little as $2 per month via fund.lrn.fm. You can help us continue and expand our satellite broadcast to multiple continents. Visit fund.lrn.fm today, and thank you for your help. Don't forget to share the link on social media. That's fund.lrn.fm.
Do you love Twitter? Make sure you favorite the LRN.FM Twitter account so you can receive our tweets at twitter.lrn.fm. That's twitter.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live Sunday edition of the program. As always, you can join us here. Our number, 855-450, free like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. Joining you tonight, it's Ian,
Jonny Ray,
and Mark.
Don't forget, if you want to get your shopping done, go to shop.freetalklive.com. You'll find links there to affiliate links like our Walmart link or newegg.com. You go through those affiliate links, Free Talk Live gets a portion, a small portion, but a portion of your purchase price, and we appreciate that. So once again, that's shop.freetalklive.com. You know, Mark, all of the arguments here, I get your point about these state representatives. You feel like the fact that they don't get paid much in New Hampshire, it's $100 a year plus a small gas stipend. That means that you get a bunch of old people in the state rep seats. And while I see your point, and there may be some evidence to support it, all the evidence is against you as far as what works, because New Hampshire has an incredibly small government that is very, very difficult to make larger. And I believe that part of the reason why it's that way is because you don't get professional politicians into these roles. There are not, a failed lawyer is not going to want $100 a year. It is not going to attract the professional sociopaths that would come in all these other states, and that's why you got such a small government.
I believe, and that's what's important here. So in Maine, they get paid $19,000 a year to do a part-time job.
Yeah.
Are the unsuccessful attorneys out there moonlighting as
I don't know. I don't know anything about
I'm
Maine.
sure that there are some.
I know it's not as free as New Hampshire.
But there are some, well, I understand that.
Yeah.
But is that because of New Hampshire's very large legislature?
I believe that plays a role, because each legislator has less
and that doesn't
power.
have anything to do with the paycheck. Right?
Yeah.
Like the
paycheck has to do with the kind of person that's going to be attracted to that particular role. Is this person looking for a career, or is this person looking to try to make their community better, try to change the government for the better?
Is the Maine legislator who gets $14,000 a year, are they looking for a paycheck, or are they looking to make their community better? All I'm saying is, Ian, that purporting this $100 a year as a solution to anything is dubious at best.
No, I didn't say it was a solution to anything. I just said it's better than paying these people, because, number one, you don't have to pay them as much, which means the government's a little bit smaller. And number two, it keeps these people, keeps their egos in check, I think, to some extent.
I don't think it does. I mean, they're all about those license plates and those sorts of things. They've got the same ego. They want.
Oh, great! They get a license plate that means they don't get pulled over when they're driving to the state house.
They get a license plate that says at the grocery store, when somebody walks by their car, they say, "Oh, that's a state rep." They get a special license plate.
Sure.
It says "state rep" on it.
Yeah, that's true. That's true.
So I think that.
I bet they have that in Maine too.
I bet they do.
Yeah.
I don't think that there's a glass of hog spit difference between paying your representative $19,000 a year, $14,000 a year, or $100. I just don't think there's any big difference. Really? I think that you might get a few more young people.
There's a factor of 10 difference.
I think you might get a few more young people to be involved with the $14,000 a year.
I thought you meant 100,000. Okay. So yeah, there would be a
right. I would be against paying that
amount,
but I am just saying that you might get some more.
So some amount is too much for you?
Yes.
What amount?
I think that, making sure that no attorney can make a living doing it.
Uh-huh.
So 30, $30,000 a year would be
$30,000 a year.
All that I would be talking about.
So you're saying that
if you
as a small government person are demanding that the New Hampshire state legislature go from $100 a year, which would cost them about $40,000 to pay the entire state legislature for a year. Right now, about $40,000 is what it costs to pay 400 state reps. You're saying take that up to $1.2 million, and you're calling yourself a small government person.
I'm telling you that you're going to have that's the best you can do.
Yeah.
You're raising the amount. Those people spend that in a second in Concord, okay? That amount of money is a pittance there. Your low-paid representatives don't mind blowing $1.2 million on the dumbest program out there.
Yeah, now you want to pay them more to do dumb crap.
No. Well, I'm only trying to show you that it doesn't make a difference.
Sure it does. It makes a difference in that you're costing another $1 million.
But I think what your program of paying $100 a year really only gets a bunch of old busybodies up there trying to tell everybody what to do.
What's it matter whether they're old busybodies or young busybodies? The New Hampshire state government has a smaller government than elsewhere.
Because a representative is supposed to represent, and a bunch of geriatrics...
That's a scam. That's a scam. Nobody can represent.
I understand it's a lie, but that's their name, Ian.
You don't have to play into that by advocating they get more money.
You can't tell me that 70-year-olds, I'll bet you I can show in places where they get more money that you have a more representative age group than the 70-year-olds that populate the Concord legislature. Ian?
But yet you are so you're saying that you think that they should get paid more, but you want to pay it voluntarily?
What do you mean?
Is that right? Because, you're supposed to be small government. You're supposed to support lower government, lower spending. But here you are saying you want an extra $1 million+ to these people. Where's the money going to come from?
There's nothing voluntary about what they do. They force their will on you.
I understand that. But you're advocating they force more of their will by forcing more taxes out of people. Raise the taxes is what you're saying.
No. I'm happy to cut the taxes. Cut those taxes out of marijuana.
You're saying it should cut from somewhere else?
Ian, I want a small government as badly as you do.
Yeah. Well, then stop advocating to grow it.
No, I'm not advocating to grow it.
What are you saying?
I'm telling you that you are saying that these people being paid $100 a year is a solution to something, and it's a solution to nothing. It has
I didn't say it was a solution. I just said it was better than paying them more.
I say that it may not be.
Well, all the evidence is New Hampshire's the small government compared to the other states. So, it seems to me it's working fine.
Yeah. Look, that isn't specifically, as well as I do, that's not the reason. The reason is because there's 400 reps in New Hampshire, and it's nearly impossible to get a bill through.
Yeah, and
that's why our government is the smallest in the state. Not because it's full of old people up there, because there's plenty of old Democrats that would love to spend your money in Concord. It's just difficult for them to get things through. Mm-hmm. And because the Republicans took the House in 2010, they gerrymandered the towns, and now the Republicans are going to control the House until 2020 when they gerrymander the House the towns again.
I'm glad that these state representatives are voting this crap down when people like you propose that they increase their pay.
Here's what I propose.
They see the value in this. They see that there's a value to not paying these state reps any kind of professional salary.
I propose the state reps just go right ahead and change the Constitution so it says they need a 75% vote to bring a law in and a 50% vote to get rid of a law. And then you'd see some stuff starting to get done in Concord. But that's not going to happen because the old people that you're so happy are getting paid $100 a year aren't going to do that because they don't want small government.
Well, they're all going to die at some point, Mark. So
and they'll be replaced by other old people, just as they always have been in New Hampshire.
A lot of libertarians of younger ages who are running, and they're winning. I mean, the fact is, you don't have to be old. You can just be independently wealthy. And there are a ton of cryptocurrency people coming in here.
Why in the world would a cryptocurrency person want to run for office if you're independently wealthy?
Mark, maybe the reason they moved to New Hampshire was because they wanted to get more freedom in their lifetime. They're joining this New Hampshire freedom migration that we talk about every single night here on Free Talk Live.
Rich people have plenty of freedom. It's the poor people they're supposed to represent that need the freedom, Ian.
Yeah, I understand that. So what I'm saying to you is that there are libertarians who've moved here, like the three of us in the studio, excluding Jonny Ray. He moved here, but he wouldn't do this. But like the three of us in the studio, have moved here to become active inside or outside of the system to achieve some sort of semblance of more freedom in our lifetime. Amongst those people, you have a much higher incidence of interest in running for political office.
That's true.
We've seen dozens of people in any given 2-year term here in New Hampshire, because they're only 2 years, dozens of principled, liberty-oriented people will run for these offices. And in the last time, almost 24 of them won those offices. And almost all of those people are middle-aged or younger. They are not elderly people.
I've seen a bunch of them, and I've talked to many, many, many more who say they cannot do it or cannot continue to do it because they don't make enough money.
Yeah, I understand that.
And that
that's going to change as you see these libertarians coming in here.
My claim that paying legislators might very well shrink the government.
I'm telling
in New
you
Hampshire.
that you've got libertarians who should be very, very wealthy, if not already within the next year or so, who are going to be moving here to New Hampshire. And that means that if they don't need to work, then they got plenty of time to run for political office. Do you think there are a bunch of libertarians who are crypto millionaires right now, Mark?
I don't know where they live, and I don't know why they'd run for office.
Well, maybe they care about their community and making the government smaller. More coming up.
From the second letter of Captain Mark. Any pirate knows that commerce is communication. Markets condense oceans of information into a single price. Innovations in communication are circumventing the scrutiny of the crown. This signals a change in the coin of the realm. The crown uses digital currency to surveil, censor, seize, and destroy wealth at will, so pirate currency must protect us from this weaponized money. We need to move funds further, faster, cheaper, and without third-party observation, basing decisions on an accelerating flow of information, so pirates require nearly instantaneous transactions with no arbitrary limits on volume or artificial influences on fees. Most importantly, a pirate currency must preclude centralization. Otherwise, it will become another link in our chain to the crown. A superior currency will result in the obsolescence of the coin of the realm and the extinction of the crown itself. Trade above the grid. Join us at pirateswithoutborders.com.
It's about time something new came along for better selling and buying online. And I found it.
What now, Marge?
It's buysellmakeoffer.com.
Never heard of it.
It's a brand new company. That's why you've never heard of it. It's the newest and best way to sell any products online. I did all the research.
Sell my car?
Yes.
Our home?
Yep.
My golf bag?
Your golf clubs. All of them.
How about your purse collection hoard?
Hey, now.
You said any product.
Right. I did. We get 30 days free.
Really?
Packages starting from only $9.95. And buysellmakeoffer.com will never charge item fees, ever. Never. And this is cool. Listen to this. You can even use Skype or video to show your items.
That's cool.
Yes. All we have to do is go to the website, sign up, and then load our stuff to sell. I love this site.
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. You got it?
Buysellmakeoffer.com.
Buysellmakeoffer.com. Better selling, better buying.
In addition to creating a Twitter account, Pope Benedict XVI plans to further connect with Christian youth by giving up on Catholicism. Quote, in order to really relate to modern teens, he needs to make religion a much smaller part of his busy life, just like they do. And it's already working. Tweets like, can someone go to church for me, LOL, hashtag sleeping in, have been retweeted over 1 million times by lazy Catholic teens, while tweets like, if God was real, how come there's so much murder, and I'm still Catholic, I just don't go to church or believe in Jesus, have been especially successful with college students who are questioning the church's teaching.
It's really cool to see that the Pope is as active on social media and as skeptical about God as I am. Look, he just tweeted, I'm not religious, I'm spiritual. That's totally how I feel.
Pope Benedict's aides say his next project involves reaching out to Muslims by sitting down with Islamic leaders and proclaiming his undying allegiance to Allah.
This is the Onion News Network.
The 3 most important things you can do for Free Talk Live are 1. Share 1 episode a week on Facebook or in some other social networking site. 2. Buy the things you buy online through shop.freetalklive.com. 3. Give $5 a month to the AMP program. It's my firm belief that Free Talk Live's AMP program is the best use of your charitable dollar among liberty-oriented organizations. Support all the organizations you love, but make sure you give $5 a month to AMP at amp.freetalklive.com. Hi, this is Mark Edge of Free Talk Live. Michael W. Dean's book, User's Manual for the Human Experience, changed my life. In a culture that attempts to turn you into a compliant victim, this book gives you implementable steps on everything from how to be aware of your environment walking down the street to business, to how to handle a toxic person in your life. If you're a human, you need to read this book at least once. Go to Amazon and get the Kindle version, or paperback, or an audiobook of A User's Manual for the Human Experience.
If you enjoy LRN.FM, please contribute to your favorite shows via their websites and become an amplifier at amp.lrn.fm. That's amp.lrn.fm.
This is Free Talk Live. You may dial toll-free here, 855-450-FREE like freedom. That's 855-450-3733. We've got Skype at Skype username LRN.FM. And moments remain here. Maybe enough time to get you on the air with us, with you tonight. It's Ian,
Jonny Ray,
and Mark.
Don't forget, you can join us online. You like the show, you like what we do here on Free Talk Live, then please amp the show over at amp.freetalklive.com. AMP stands for Advertise, Market, and Promote. And the idea is that you send in $5 a month to the show with PayPal or credit card, or if you want to, you can still use Bitcoin. Not many people are, but you can use it over at amp.freetalklive.com. That's amp.freetalklive.com. And Mark, you and I were arguing so vociferously about your insistence that state legislature people should get paid more than $100 per year.
Didn't say that.
No?
Nope, that's not what I said.
No?
Over and over again.
What were you saying then?
I was saying, as I said, that your claim that New Hampshire state reps getting paid $100 a year really doesn't have anything to do with the smaller government in New Hampshire.
But you weren't advocating to pay state representatives more than $100 a year? Because it sure as hell sounded like it for the last time.
No, I don't care. As far as I'm concerned, they can do whatever they want in Concord.
Weren't you just talking off the air about raising money to pay state reps more than $100 a year?
Oh, that was a completely different conversation. But I will be happy to explain my plan if you'd like to hear it.
Never mind. Let's just go to Stephen in Ohio. Stephen, I'm sorry. You were on with us. You heard that whole conversation. You say, you told me on Skype, Mark doesn't get it. Go ahead.
He doesn't get it. And yes, he was advocating for raising.
Yeah, it seems pretty clear to me.
I am not advocating.
Jonny Ray, you were sitting here.
He said $30,000 a year.
You asked me what a threshold would be that it would.
You said low pay attracts a bunch of old people,
yes,
and that's bad. And so the suggestion is you're saying you want it to be higher.
No, I'm not suggesting that. I don't care.
It's good to see that Mark is showing his colors as a Republican.
You clearly care. You spent the last half hour arguing for
an increase in spending.
Yeah, well, Republicans and Democrats agree that people should get to spend more. Then why is it that the House that's populated with Republicans and Democrats still haven't raised that rate?
They haven't voted on it, I suppose.
Oh, no, there have been proposals to increase it, and they shoot it down because they know it's good to not pay state legislators more than $100 a year.
And the reason I said he doesn't get it is because the system of only paying them $100, or rather nothing, as I would prefer, is the fact that you are more likely to attract people that will do it as a statesman sort of thing, instead of getting people that go into it a career. My local representative in the state house was a minister at a large church around here, and the only reason he got elected is because all of his church buddies went out and voted for him. He used it as a career. And if you're not paying people much of anything, they're not going to see it as a career. Now, are you going to get some old people who are living off of Social Security now and just want something to do? Of course, but what system would you prefer, Mark? Would you prefer the possibility of getting actual people who believe in liberty in there? Or would you rather pay them $30,000 a year and make it a career?
$30,000 is not a career by any stretch of the imagination. People that, liberty-minded people are going to try to get in no matter what, and the only thing that's stopping them, from what I can tell here in New Hampshire, is that they have to work real jobs.
Yeah, they're not going to have to for long because a lot of them have cryptocurrency, and that's what my recent open letter was about that I wrote over at freekeen.com, inviting, hey, libertarians, voluntarists, anarchists, those of you out there who either already have tremendous wealth that you've never possibly could have imagined for yourself because of your cryptocurrency investments in the early days, you really need to get up here to New Hampshire because we already have the best libertarian group here. It's growing. There are thousands who've moved here and thousands more are coming as part of the New Hampshire freedom migration. Many of them are into cryptocurrency. Some got in early. Some of them didn't get in early, but they are well aware of crypto and they want to acquire it. Many of these people, whether they are immediately wealthy or will will be in another year or two. This is a game changer for politics because many of the Republicans and Democrats don't have the inside scoop on these cryptocurrencies. Back in the early days, it was a very libertarian thing. It's not as much these days, but in the early days, it certainly was. And that's all money that can be spent inside the political system, running campaigns, funding other people's campaigns to defeat these statists that have been in there forever and give the libertarians a leg up. We already have libertarians who've gotten elected here over the past decade to the point where there's probably a couple dozen of them. Many of them are running as Republicans and Democrats, but they're getting elected. And having more money entering into that system, entering into that process, is going to be a good thing because you can win a state representative seat here for like $500 worth of spending. It doesn't take a whole lot to win these seats.
Can you give me an example of somebody who is wealthy, doesn't have to work, and decided to go into politics to support liberty inside the state of New Hampshire?
Yeah, I bet you could find him in the state house for sure.
We're betting, so you cannot give me an example. Is that what you're saying?
If I thought about it real hard, I'm sure I could. You already said that some of those old people are wealthy. That's why they went into the state house.
They're retired, and I think it's different. They've retired.
Retired means they've got enough income coming in to take care of themselves,
right?
It's
true.
Isn't that wealthy enough?
No, I don't think that's.
Why does it matter how wealthy they are?
It's because we're talking about getting younger people in, right?
Well, I don't care if they're young or old, as long as they care about freedom.
Oh, yeah. Well, I'd be happy to have as many liberty-loving old people move to New Hampshire to get in the House.
We got more libertarians in the state house here in New Hampshire than any other state house in the rest of the country.
But how many
you're complaining?
were elected?
Yeah, how many were elected?
Zero. A couple dozen of them. I'm talking about the libertarians who ran as Republicans and Democrats. Very principled libertarians who ran, many of whom are not elderly. So you've already had more success here in New Hampshire, and you're complaining about how much they get paid?
I'm not complaining about anything.
All right, well, then let's move on. Stefan, thank you for the call tonight. I appreciate hearing from you.
You seem to think it's relevant.
He called in about it, and it is, I think, a good thing to have them get paid less. That's all I'm saying. It's a good thing.
You're practically running out of breath, blowing the horn about why New Hampshire, should pay less, and I just don't think it's relevant. I don't think
New Hampshire already does pay less. You're the one arguing that it should be paid more.
I'm not arguing that.
Well, it sure as hell sounded like it. Johnny Ray, did it sound like it to you that he was arguing for that?
I don't know, but
you're being too kind.
Well, no, he wasn't necessarily advocating it. You pushed him for a number. He gave you 30,000. Yeah. I think that you have to take one side or another. 30,000 is sort of down the middle. Mm-hmm. It's not high enough to get what you want, Mark, which is capable people based on the salary that they're pursuing.
I don't want capable people. Capable people
he doesn't
are
know
all
what
over
he
the place.
wants.
They're scary.
All right, let's talk about. Go ahead.
If you go 30, you're still going to get a low quality of people, and I think you should try. If you're going to pick one or the other, I think it only makes sense to shoot for zero.
Right on. I'm with you, Johnny Ray, on that. So let's talk about saving, because Mark, you said you don't have enough time to tell the horse story at this point in the show, so we're going to have to hold that. You'll have to hold the horse until tomorrow night, and we can talk about it then. Because are you going to be on tomorrow? Because I know you're leaving this week at some point, right?
No, I cannot come on tomorrow. I meant to talk to you about that. Sorry.
Crap. All
right,
I
think the number is 100,000.
Can you call in about the horse? Because
I'm sorry, Ian. No? You had to badger me for a half an hour over something I didn't care about because it's so important to you to disagree with me. I mean, if you want to give me a ring,
you're the one who wants to pay the state reps more.
No, I do not care.
It's pretty clear that you do care.
That's
why you argued for a half an hour.
You
could have just been like, "Yeah, you're right. It's great that we don't pay state reps $30,000 a year."
I can't let you run around just blah. This is so great here in New Hampshire. Blah, blah,
it is great here in New Hampshire.
You know what sucks about New Hampshire?
There are 101 great
reasons. If you want to help people get more liberty, you have to live through a place that ice stays on the ground for the next 4 months.
That's right, man. Freedom isn't free, is it? There's some costs to being free.
Freedom is cold.
Yeah.
Freedom needs down freaking slippers on its feet right now.
You go run off to Florida there, mister.
I shall. Thank you very much.
Me and Johnny Ray will keep things warm up here for you. For when you
Johnny
come
Ray
back.
would take that job up in Concord for $30,000 a year.
No,
I wouldn't.
He's a principled man, unlike you. So anyway, let's go on here with economics in one lesson, which great chapter here so far. I didn't get through further than 1 out of 4, but it was about savings and about the kind of the different types of people out there, the type of person who believes that they're benefiting the economy by spending their money compared to the person who saves their money, which typically you look at that other person, some people might look at them and say, well, he's not doing anything for the economy because he's just socking all his money away in a bank account. But, the fact is that money gets loaned out, which then results in more economic growth because of investments into new businesses and services being created that otherwise wouldn't have because of his
people don't put money in savings accounts. I mean, you put your money in stocks and bonds and mutual funds
or whatever. All those things. Other things that are not spending money.
No. When I buy a stock for $100, I am buying it from someone. I am not lending my money out to be, to get it in the marketplace. No.
Well, but in a lot of accounts, like in banks, for instance, they lend that money out, and then that goes to create new businesses and
It's the same result. If you're buying stock, they're taking that money. They do that to raise money to invest themselves.
That's in an IPO,
their own capital project.
But usually, if you're buying a stock, you're buying it from somebody who's selling it. It's like a used car as opposed to a new one.
Well, anyway, that we don't have time to get into the rest of it. We'll have to talk about it more next week. We'll get into it when you and I can talk about it, Johnny Ray, without being interrupted by this troll over here. We'll see you tomorrow. freetalklive.com.
Since time began, tyrants have taken aim at personal liberties. Now there's a movie that aims back.
The government has no more right to tell us what to put in our bodies than they have to take our guns or tell us what books we can read.
6 drug police were eaten by bears while raiding a marijuana farm.
On your knees, you dirty hippie! Jesus. On your knees! What's the problem, officer?
Today, many cops who enforce pot laws do so only because it provides them with cushy jobs, good benefits, and a chance to push people around.
I was an undercover narcotics officer. The drug war is nothing but a farce.
The Second Amendment says you gotta keep you and your gat intact.
Guns and Weed, The Road to Freedom. A film by Michael W. Dean and Nima Vadati.
DVD available now at gunsandweed.com or on Amazon. That's gunsandweed.com. Makes the perfect gift. Remember, that's gunsandweed.com. Are you tired of your taxes funding endless occupations around the world? Antiwar.com is run by people who understand that wars abroad become wars at home, wars on our freedoms. Antiwar.com is dedicated to bringing you the latest in news, views, interviews, and reviews from the top movers and shakers in the anti-occupation movement. Antiwar.com has it all, from thorough foreign policy analysis to interviews with whistleblowers who used to run the military-industrial complex. Anti-war, pro-free market. That's antiwar.com.
Did you know you can watch Free Talk Live during our live show 7 days a week from 7 to 10 p.m. Eastern via our studio cams at cam.freetalklive.com? Plus, you can chat with other listeners while you watch, all totally free. Now that our live video stream is hosted by YouTube, our video archives will be online even faster. So be sure to subscribe to our YouTube channel. Listen, watch, and chat all free at cam.freetalklive.com. That's cam.freetalklive.com.
The Call to Freedom is coming up next, live after the news on the Liberty Radio Network.